It's easy listening to a record. Start that again. It's easy listening to a record, but a live performance is so personal and real, just like that. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is the first ever live recording of Modern Escapism.
Hey!
I don't listen to this podcast. I don't know how it goes.
It's the greatest theme tune ever, surely.
Yes. Hello and welcome to the show. And hello to the live chat that get to see how the sausage is made. My name is Oodles, the compare without compare. And today I am joined by... You can't edit out the shite in this episode, it's Gadget.
Easy week for me this week. Easy week for me.
The last time she performed live, she got a standing ovation. It's Candy Machine.
Hello.
He told me in the green room that he believes performing live is where he will shine, and he's not nervous at all. It's Stig.
Hello.
And finally, a man so strikingly beautiful, he's been banned from appearing on television due to upstaging every actor he's ever worked with. It's Biggie. So without further ado, let's go to the corporate shilling. Let's sell some stuff. Stig, we've got a Patreon, haven't we?
Yeah, we certainly do. And if you head over to patreon.com/Modern Escapism, you'll see everything that we do on there. We have 3 tiers available. The first one is Modern Escapees. For £5 a month, you'll get an extended weekly episode of this show and at least one monthly special. I've just finished editing that today,
yes.
So I don't think that'll be out before this comes out. I think it's coming out the week after, so look forward to that if you're a Patreon. And we currently are on with Too Faff, Too Curious, where Gadget and Biggie are watching the Fast and the Furious for the first time. And I'm very much looking forward to editing that second episode.
Yeah, we had fun recording it, or rather shouting.
Yes.
Breaking my heart.
So you can get the first episode for free, and if you want to listen to any more, you have to sign up for the Patreon. We also do a Dungeons & Dragons podcast called Do Dragons Dream of Scorched Sheep, and on the Scorched Sheep tier, that is also £5 a month. You will get ad-free early access to the podcast. You also get access to any original songs, artwork, character sheets, and anything we do for the show, as well as being able to suggest NPCs and items for Gadget to use. And if you're feeling flush, £7.50, the Biggie Bundle gets you everything.
And as Deadbeat Punk has said quite rightly, go Biggie Bundle or go home.
I agree.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Nintendo 13 saying needing to wait for payday, but the Biggie Bundle is being sub to. Well, we thank you.
I'll be standing right behind you until you press enter.
He does that as well.
Sniggy!
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Stig. And without further ado, let's just crack on with it. For people that have, maybe it's the first time, this is what we call the Nexus. This is what we've been doing all week, or sometimes not doing. So, Gadget, what have you been or not been doing this week?
What have I been doing? Well, I've not been doing much work because I've been doing a lot of podcast stuff. A couple of things this week. For one, I'm going to give a slight Gadget review.
Ooh.
Because yesterday I decided to treat myself to a pair of AirPods Pro.
Ooh.
And these are fucking brilliant. Obviously, everyone's very much aware of what AirPods are. These little earbuds.
Oh, the beauties.
They're absolute beauties. I bought them kind of on a whim, partly as a treat because I got some good news this week. And yeah, I've been listening to them all day while I've been doing housework and kind of pottering around the shops. They've got active noise cancelling in something that small. It's incredible. I walked into Asda before and I popped them in, and it's just like before I even pressed play on my podcast, just the world went silent.
Yeah, they're really good for that.
I've used noise cancelling stuff before, but not active noise cancelling. I've just used ones where it just like sucks into your ear and you just can't hear anything as a result of it.
It's just pressure.
But these ones are like the digital noise cancelling. It was really weird. I put them in last night when I went to bed because I thought I'll give it a try, like having some like ambient sounds on. And when I put them on and I put it on, it's just like I realised I couldn't hear my own breathing. It's a surreal feeling.
Are you sure you were breathing? You still here?
Yeah, still here, still alive. But the main thing I wanted to talk about was I finally got round to reading Ask Iwata.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I'm realizing on Zoom this is looking reversed. But this is the book that
Is that the least successful one to ask Jeeves?
No, more successful because
Way
Iwata was in
successful.
business for a lot longer. So obviously it was a few years ago, quite sadly, the Nintendo CEO Satoru Iwata passed away. He was quite a sick man. I think he had cancer, didn't he?
Yeah.
So this book is from a blog that he did on the Japanese Nintendo site. It was never translated into English. It was just always in Japanese. And this is kind of the first translation of it. And it's just some of his pearls of wisdom about how he operated Nintendo. I didn't realize that Iwata was a programmer before he became the CEO. I always thought he was a businessman.
Bloody hell, he rose to the
First and
top.
foremost. He worked for HAL Laboratories, so he worked on some of the big games. He was the chief coder on Kirby and Dreamland.
Oh,
for
God, I
instance.
love that game.
He rescued Earthbound
Yes. Mwah.
because without Iwata joining the developer, I can't remember what the name of the developer, but without Iwata joining the developer of Earthbound for the last year of it, it would have taken another 2 or 3 years to come out. In fact, it would have came out after the N64 came out.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So it's really worthwhile reading, especially if you work in an office environment or if you work in a kind of a business environment. Yes, you're right, Punk. He did. He fixed the Pokemon games as well between him and Shigeru Miyamoto.
The Pokemon games they're so good.
I've never played one.
Oh,
ever.
they're so good.
There's things that Iwata did that I have wished like my bosses would do. Like even as CEO, he would have two interviews every year with every member of staff. Didn't matter whether you're a lead, whether you're a developer, whether you were the cleaner. He would sit and he would talk to everyone. It wasn't like you're in trouble or what's the company doing. It's just like, what do you think? What do you feel? How are you? Those kind of interviews.
That's what you want, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It talks about how he became friends with Shigeru Miyamoto and how it started off that the two of them were not fractious towards each other, but a bit cautious of each other at the start. And then they work together. They have different sides of the same coin. So Shigeru Miyamoto is a very creative man, but he's not the best coder in the world. Whereas Iwata was a very rigid man, but he made brilliant code. And you had this kind of this meeting of minds as they came together, and it came to the point where they would have lunch every Monday without fail, at a very cheap ramen place.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, despite the amount of money both of them were on, they never like spread their wealth or anything like that. They would just go and just have lunch somewhere.
It's kind
cheap.
of a thing in that culture as well, though, isn't it? They're not that type of people.
But there's one chapter in it that's actually surprisingly hard to read, and that's it's just titled "Remembering Iwata," and it's an interview with Shigeru Miyamoto and the producer behind Earthbound, Iwata or something like that. I can't remember his name. It's so sad. Well, like they speak so highly of him.
Yeah.
But it broke my heart at the end of the last sentence of Miyamoto's one is, I really miss him. It's just like, mate.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's brutal. But it's such a lovely little read. It's only about 150 pages long. It's so uplifting all the way through because, like I say, Iwata talks about like his struggles, like things he's found out, like the way he approaches situations, the way he approaches difficult things. It's like it's like the best job interview book you could ever read.
Yeah.
You can get so many tips from it, and this was I paid £18 for it. It's a lovely hardback.
It is really nice.
It's got a lovely little artwork of Iwata on the back.
Oh,
there.
wow.
And it's beautifully printed. And there's just that classic quote of his, on my business card, I'm a corporate president. In my mind, I'm a game developer, but in my heart, I'm a gamer. And it's a really good.
Did you hear that, Goodles?
Goodles no longer likes him.
Yeah, he's off my list now.
And people are saying in the chat as well. He always remembers Iwata took a pay cut as CEO when the Wii U went belly up.
Fucking hell! Wow.
Yeah, I remember that.
So rather than laying off staff, he took a pay cut so he didn't have to fire anybody.
That's what you want from a leader.
Yeah, like most businesses would do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Futile Exercises subscriber Prime. Thank you, Futile.
Thank you, Futile.
Cheers,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Tendo's saying that he was my hero in the gaming industry. I shed tears when he passed. Kieran's just ordered the hardback. You're a good man, Kieran. It's a really. I read it in 2 evenings. It's easy read, but it's lovely to read. It's a really nice book.
Oh yeah, lovely. Yeah, thank you very much for that. We're going to go in order of what I can see on my screen. So it's my turn now. I've I've been away this week, so I haven't done much. But I did manage to catch What If? Marvel's What If, the new show on Disney Plus.
I've been keen to hear about this.
The first episode dropped. It's an animated show. Before we go on, beautifully animated, absolutely stunning. I
like that.
I don't know what kind of animation style they're using. It's just really modern, and it just pops. And I know this is a weird thing to say for someone that I love cartoons, but it doesn't feel like you're watching a cartoon when it's happening.
It looks really fluid, doesn't it?
Really fluid. It's just so
I feel
nice.
like it's what Disney cartoons would look like if they had them hand drawn more than CGI now.
Yeah.
Like they would be looking like this.
It's just so pretty to watch. Straight away, I'm in. So the first episode that we all got to see is Captain Carter. What if Captain Carter were the first Avenger? So the whole show is hosted by the ethereal being known as the Watcher, and Marvel fans will know who that is. The first episode of What If revolves around a pretty straightforward hypothetical, basically. So Peggy Carter, Steve Rogers' long-lost lover, what if she was injected with the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers? Which straight away, what would happen? And basically, and this has been a complaint online as well. Basically, the same thing happens, but roles are reversed.
Shocking how you would think that.
Yeah, so she becomes a super soldier, Captain Carter. She's got a British shield, and she's really tall and really muscular. And she has to actually, it's quite poignant actually, she has to actually deal with 1930s, 1940s sexism as well. The director of the Super Soldier project.
And she's British. Does that mean she's Captain Britain?
They don't call her that, but it very, very much alludes to Captain Britain. But yeah, she has to deal with a lot of sexism and hierarchical things in the army. Like women can't fight on the front lines, but she fucking fights, and she's got a bigger death toll than proper Captain America. Well, yeah, that's true. But it's just really. I mean, there's been a lot of nerd rage again because a strong female. We've not seen that before. That's what they're all saying. So that's one of the discourses I'm seeing already on Twitter. But from my perspective, I think it was absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to spoil what happens because there are differences to the Captain America film that we know, but the beginning's very similar. You've got.
I think the clue's in the title. What if?
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what I mean?
It is. It's really well done out, and I think it's misleading for a lot of people because they're saying that it's in the Marvel canon now. Due to events.
I thought it was explicitly not in the canon, hence it being called What If.
It's definitely canonical.
I have a feeling that something is going to happen in these shows, which is
massive
canon.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not caught up with the whole Marvel universe, I mean, you'll understand why it's canonical and why it potentially isn't canonical. But it's really, really, really well paced. I think it's about 35 minutes an episode, something along those lines. And it's so good. And there's one bit I like to see. I saw it. It's Steve Rogers is that weedy little Steve Rogers from the beginning of Captain America, and he's that throughout. It's just really good. And there's one bit where she fucking smashes a tank and stuff. it's just really good. But if I say more about it, it will kind of spoil it. But 35 minutes of your life for some real Marvel goodness. I'm proper looking for. I like that it's now Marvel Wednesdays on Disney Plus. Because you've got something to look forward to in that midweek. But yeah, I recommend everyone to watch it. 35 minutes of your life, just get on it. So
there was one thing I really liked was obviously when she goes into the machine.
Yeah,
I did say to my wife, I was like, I think she's going to come out all buff.
Oh, she did.
And she steps out, I was like, oh yes, she is. Like she's
buff.
She's grown, she's buff. I goes, yeah, but it's like I don't think Steve Rogers will be touching her chest in this one.
No, definitely not.
And then, do they refer to that as like Britain's ass or something?
Britain's chest.
No.
I do have two minor gripes with it.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think some of the voice acting is very good.
I agree.
I think Sebastian Stan, if it hadn't have said Sebastian Stan in the opening credits, you wouldn't know it was him because his delivery is shocking.
It's as if he's zoomed it in. He's been on a Zoom call and he's done it that way.
I think it kind of shows the difference between professional voice actors compared to just actors voicing a cartoon.
Sebastian Stan can be a bit uneven in general. Right?
But in this, he's like
some of his Winter Soldier stuff in the films is, he looks nice and brooding in the first film that he's in, but when he actually has to act, it can be a little wooden.
Ironically, the person playing Steve Rogers, who's obviously doing an impersonation of Chris Evans, sounds the most like the character.
He does.
The rest of them don't sound as good, in my opinion. But there's that, and also the thing that Steve Rogers kind of gets makes no sense.
It makes no sense to me either. But it's what if.
That's the only way you can look at it. It's like, it's what if. I was like, all right, okay.
But watching it, you get why they opted for the cartoon route, don't you? Because it looks it would have cost a fortune. But watch it, guys. Let's move on. So,
well, before we move on, we'll just catch up with the chat quickly because we've had a follow from the Open World show, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Jakey L Gaming is subscribed with Twitch Prime. Acid X Pearl has popped up saying, "Hello, nice to see Candy brushed her hair today.
First time forever."
And it's not a wig.
Punk said it was a wig.
No one ever notices me.
Your hair's divine on your chin.
Thank you.
Excellent. So we'll move on to you, Candy. What have you been doing this week?
I've had quite a busy week this week, actually. A couple of you were with me for this. I finished Those Who Remain on stream.
I apologise.
Now, when I say I finished it, I mean I stopped playing it. I didn't complete the game.
You're finished with it.
Yes. Now, I started actually quite liking this to begin with. It was quite charming. Quickly went downhill.
Can I just make a disclaimer as well? We got a code for it.
We did get a code, which makes it slightly stingless. I think the trouble, it just became a little bit repetitive, and it suffered from getting to a save point. There weren't save points, so it would take you back quite far if you did fuck up, which I frequently did, as you saw. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a map, and you just had a basic lack of interaction with the environment. So there's a scene that you're in a police station at one point, and you think, these fallen police officers, they've got guns.
Yeah,
can't pick them up.
Nope.
So there's none of that. The game mechs just didn't really grow or develop as the game went on, and as some of you saw, it did end with a glitch, and the glitch took me back to a couple of hours previously. The previous couple of hours had been pretty grueling anyway, and I was at the point of pulling my fake hair out with it. So that was the end of Those Who Remain for me.
The look of anger on your face was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen you looking so angry.
Worth it for my money. What money we didn't spend.
At least we got that, you getting smacked in the face by the cat, so it was worth it.
Oh, yeah.
That was an absolute nugget. He's in a curry now, I'll just say. What you can't see on Twitch as well is my face getting redder just because I've got my beauty filters on, so you can't see the
There's
the
beauty
really
filters.
boiling.
Fuck, why didn't you tell me?
You don't need them. But the main thing I did this week, I watched a show on Apple called Physical.
Yes, I've seen this.
I've seen this advertised.
Yes.
Now, Physical is it's set in 80s San Diego. It follows a self-loathing housewife who suffers from bulimia, so you've got a bit of a trigger warning there.
Absolutely.
Played by Rose Byrne, whose life starts to change after discovering a local aerobics class. Now, this is described as a dark comedy. I would probably disagree with this. I would say it's more like a drama with light-hearted moments. I don't think you could really call it a comedy. It follows a similar format to all the other Apple TV shows that are out at the moment. So about 10 episodes, 30-ish minutes, and they're released weekly. Incidentally, all of them are out now, so you can binge it.
Excellent.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's as strong as some of the other Apple shows that are currently out. It's not a patch on maybe Ted Lasso or Mythic Quest. Ted Lasso is so pure. But it is quite bingeable because they are short episodes. It's just an easy background watch. I did not like it. It's just not groundbreaking. What I did like, it doesn't fall into the trope of using overly stereotyped 80s music and fashion. It is set in the 80s. Mm-hmm. It doesn't, keep going on about it.
It hasn't got Duran Duran on every little scene.
I think they are on it once, but not every scene. I mean, apart from the aerobics outfits, which are just fantastic, but people actually did wear them. So
people start to wear that now. It's coming back.
I wear it to work all the time. Got the old camel toe out. It's brilliant.
Oh, God.
We're
live, remember?
I'm not getting it out now.
Oh, God.
I will say I've noticed compared to like Mythic Quest or Ted Lasso, they haven't put as much marketing push behind it. Like I saw a couple of video ads on Twitter, and that was about it. And like literally, they were like 2 seconds long. It was just Rose Byrne posing. Whereas like the Ted Lasso ones or the Mythic Quest ones, you tend to get like a trailer and promoted adverts. So yeah, they don't seem to be putting as much money behind it.
Yeah. So Rose, we mentioned Rose Byrne. She actually plays her character really well. She's overly critical of her own physical appearance, but also everyone else's, and she's got a constant internal dialogue. And it does sort of accurately reflect the way sometimes you do speak to yourself. You know, sometimes you've just got that horrible voice in your head, and it starts attacking you, and it starts attacking everyone else. So they do reflect that pretty well, I thought. She's Rose Byrne herself. I find that she's got quite a painful face, and she does.
She is a friend of the show.
I don't mean that an attractive face.
We've got an email from her later.
Yeah,
she's talented and beautiful.
That's it. She is very beautiful, but she wears that pained expression very well, and she nails these.
She has a pained face, not a painful face.
Not a pained face, and painful.
God.
But she does do these passive aggressive characters so well. She had a similar kind of role in Bridesmaids. She's just that character that you kind of love to hate.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you've got a bit of time, if you want something on in the background, I would watch it. Just don't expect it to be groundbreaking, but you'll probably enjoy it. So go for it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Shall we swiftly move on to Stig?
Yes, I watched a few films this week, but I can't talk about them because they kind of link in with my main topic choice. So I'll bring them up a bit further down the line. Mm-hmm. So the only other thing really that I've watched recently is the film Pig.
Pig? Oh. So
Pig is a American drama film written and directed by Michael Sarnowski. It's his directorial debut. It stars Nicolas Cage, Alex Wolff, and Adam Arkin. And it follows a truffle forager whose beloved truffle-finding pig goes missing. And he goes on a mission to track it down through the underground and the high society of Portland, Oregon.
It's just things you watch sometimes, mate.
Is this taken with pork?
So, one would think that. One would think... this is a story. It stars Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
His pig gets stolen and he goes on a bit of a mission to find it. Okay, so we're basically getting John Wick with Nicolas Cage. It is about as far removed from that as you can get.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Really?
Yep.
That's not hyperbole either. It's just incredible.
No, it's such a great film.
Wow.
So it is a revenge thriller in, inverted commas, but it subverts all expectations. That it almost becomes anti-revenge in a weird way.
Oh.
It pretty much deconstructs everything you know about the likes of John Wick and Nobody.
All the tropes.
Constantly setting up these situations only to subvert you even more.
Wow.
Nicolas Cage this is the best Nicolas Cage performance I've seen him in a very, very long time.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
I was going to say, they don't happen often.
He's good.
No, he's so understated.
Mandy was well liked, wasn't it? And
yeah, but that was him.
The Wicker Man wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Mandy was Cage going full Cage.
Yeah, Face Off as well.
Batshit mental like Cage. This is just so subdued and he's so quiet and just meaningful in it. It's honestly, it's brilliant. The direction is great. The music is probably the best part about it. It's brilliant, the music. And yeah, for a film called Pig, based on the kidnapping of a pig, it's probably one of the most human films you'll ever get.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not a trope that we come across a lot.
I'm genuinely liking the sound of it. It's like, I go downstairs and go to the wife, fancy watching Pig tonight?
Yeah.
What rating is it, by the way?
I don't know, to be honest. It's probably only a 12.
Oh, okay, so it's not like full gore violence or stuff.
There's none of that in it.
Wow.
None of that in it. That's the whole point.
Sounds surreal.
The last half an hour is properly emotionally overwhelming, and the final moments are hauntingly beautiful. Like,
wow.
Literally the last moment of it is just, you're like, like it's brilliant.
Don't think I've heard hauntingly beautiful and Nicolas Cage in the same sentence for a very long time.
Not since Con Air.
So dare I say it? Are we talking like Oscar material based on what you said?
If Nicolas Cage gets an Oscar for Pig, I'll eat my hat.
If he was kind of in better stead with Hollywood, and if it was closer to Oscar season, people might talk about it that way. It's reviewed very well. I mean, what is it on Rotten Tomatoes? Let's have a quick look.
It should be 100% or something.
Universally praised, yeah.
Yeah. It's currently at, drum roll, 97%.
Whoa!
Holy shit.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
83 on audience.
Wow.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's massive.
Which I don't go by IMDb anymore.
No, they're up and down all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I like you thought at the start of this, I went into it expecting some sort of, all I know was like, watch Pig, it's brilliant. So I went into expecting some kind of indie artier John Wick.
Yeah.
With, but with a pig kind of bullshit. But you come away with it like proper pondering the existential exploration of emptiness and loss.
I think you've sold it on me, really,
and
mate.
how people find meaning when there's like not, everything else seems lost.
Yeah.
It's kind of proves why you should never write Nicolas Cage off. When he wants to act, you can act.
I'm slightly concerned with the fact that we're in a world now where Nicolas Cage is having a resurgence, but not just like action films, like actual genuinely good films.
Yeah, like Raising Arizona style.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, this is the man that did Drive Angry.
He did.
He's done a lot of shit in the last 15, 20 years.
And Ghost Rider 2.
Oh, God. Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Ghost Rider 2. It was filmed on a little camcorder.
Yeah, but you said that was a film you really liked.
No,
isn't it?
I got that wrong. Got that wrong.
Yeah.
Blade
Pig,
2.
Check it out. Seriously.
We will.
Blade 2.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think it's only about 90 minutes long as well, so it's not even a long film.
I'm down for Pig. We're all down for Pig. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Biggie.
Ooh. Well, Tuesday, thanks to N. Flem, friend of the show, went to go and see Jimmy Carr live on his terribly funny tour. And yes, he really laughs like that. It's Jimmy Carr. I mean, I don't know what you really expect really when you go to that. It's as offensive as he can be. Some jokes you've kind of maybe heard before, but he again picked on people in the crowd. We were actually front row in the middle.
He wouldn't dare pick on you.
Well, we kind of got overlooked, I have to say. Yeah,
Probably look
we
at you and he
quite
just stood still for a few seconds like, wow.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
And then moved on. But yeah, it's just, he was really good. I mean, I could quote some jokes, but I won't because they're really offensive.
Yeah,
so we'll move on from
If
that.
he had picked on you and asked you what you do, would you have said your proper job, or would you pick the podcast up?
Well, the problem was, I would have actually said what I would do, but then all my mates next to me who don't do the same thing all said they were going to say the same thing so they wouldn't get picked on. So yeah, but yeah, it was a good night out. It was a good laugh. I watched the footy yesterday. Are we allowed to talk about football?
Oh, let's not.
Oh, of
I
course
mean, you
we
can,
are.
yeah. I think we were
But yeah, it
going
was
to
just
bring this up.
nice to. I know Stiggy went to see a game recently, but it was nice to see the football back. It's nice to see people in the crowds. Yeah, it was just great. It was a great result for us. Not so much a great result for other teams.
Yeah,
but,
for Leeds, not a good result on and off the pitch, by all accounts.
I was going to say you weren't one of the arseholes running around.
No,
Manchester
I were
City
in
Centre, were
Northern
you?
Wales. I was well out of it.
But yeah, it was nice to see that the football season start again. Some interesting results. But yeah, the main thing I very quickly wanted to cover was that I started playing Divinity: Original Sin.
Yes, mate.
Which I've had in my backlog for ages. So I just wanted to play something different, so I whacked that up. For anybody that's not heard of it, it was originally supported on Kickstarter. The version I'm playing was released in 2015 because I think it went through a few updates and so on from PC through to console. Yep. I've got the enhanced edition. It's an RPG based in the Divinity universe. It's not the very first game. It's like a prequel, from what I understand. So
it's sort of it's a reinvention. So there was like 4 Divinity games in the 90s on PC. Like I've got I've got a couple of them on GOG.
Yeah, they're about 30 pence, weren't they, at one point?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And in fact, the one I got, they were giving it away for free.
I get offers from them all the time. Emails from GOG.
Get on GOG, man. Get on it.
Some great stuff.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid on there. But yeah, so Larian, who make them now, they got the license for Divinity in 2012.
Yeah.
And it took like 3 years to get started, and then they did the Kickstarter and released Divinity
so
Original
good.
Sin, and the rest is history.
And do you know what? It's a funny game. The script is excellent. It's beautiful considering how simple the game is. It's like a isometric, like top-down view of the world. You can zoom in and out. For example, I'm currently at the port town of Sicile, and there's like seagulls constantly flying around. It looks beautiful. The sound is excellent. Comedy, the acting is very good. Voice acting is superb. Not very far into it, but yeah, just enjoying it. You basically walk around the town. You start getting. There's a main quest, by the way. You've been asked to investigate the murder of a town councillor, and this town is also under siege by orcs and the undead. So there's like this constant threat as soon as you arrive in this town. Standard. And then, yeah, I can't really tell you too much about it. I'm quite early in. But, you just get given lots of quests and things get unlocked as you walk around the town. And I'm just soaking it all in. I'm just very impressed.
So good, man.
It's a great... both Divinity games are great D&D without Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
You know, that is based... They're as close to D&D in a video game as you'll ever get these days. The one tip I'll give you, because I'll not spoil anything for you, you must have at least one person in your party with the pet pal skill.
Yes, you can talk to cows and stuff.
Need that.
It's so good.
Cool.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Some of the things the animals come out with, but also like because if you've got Decisive Seal, you'll know that the first kind of major NPC you meet is disguised as a cat.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Is it
So
Aru or something like that? His name is
Aru. Yeah. So
Aru, yeah.
If you have pet pal, you can like. You don't have to like sit and listen to him meow for 5 minutes before he decides to get bored and change into the
wizard. With that, haven't we?
Yeah, we know about that.
But yeah, I mean, there isn't too much I can go on about it because I'm still very early doors in this. But from what I've seen, it looks amazing. Sounds great. Just
huge games as well.
Go for it. Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, my first playthrough, the first game was like 50 hours.
Oh, mine was about that much.
My first playthrough of the second game was about 75 hours.
I still haven't got to the very end of the second game. I've got to the last bit, but not the very end. I left it on the PS4, didn't I? Like an idiot.
You fool.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So, do you want to catch up with a chat?
Yeah, I was going to say we've had resubscriptions from Tig. He's popped into the chat.
Nice one.
We also had a follow and a subscription from Sandbone Solo.
Thank you.
Oh, lovely.
Cheers.
Sandbone.
Yeah. Also going down. Sneaky said that Pig sounds absolutely dire.
That's good.
Nice.
Awesome.
And then also with regards to the football, he just says not after today's result. So I assume Newcastle lost.
Oh yeah,
Newcastle never win. What do you mean?
Nimrod Hicks pointing out he's a Liverpool fan in Norwich, so I think he's happy.
Yeah.
We won away in Norwich, so it's like he's in the.
He's in the mosh pit.
And Robotic Monkey is very happy to see both me and Biggie drinking Thatcher's cider.
Are you both drinking the same thing?
Yeah.
No, different versions.
He spotted my bottle of Thatcher's Katie.
Oh, I love Katie. It's so good.
I also have a Robotic Monkey. Sketch Jim Repeat is now hosting a stream for one viewer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once I finish the Katie, I also have Thatcher's Vintage as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Heartburn tackle that, mate.
So, even though this is our birthday stream, Sketch Jim Repeat has just popped into the chat. It was her birthday this week, so we should wish her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to
21. Wow. I just say everyone's 21, so you don't offend anybody.
Is that so that we would say that you're 21?
I am. What do you mean?
I don't let him get away with it.
Look at my lovely, luscious hair.
I was born in 1921.
I mean, did you not see the comment that Punk said when he joined the stream and he said it looks like H from Steps has let himself go?
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, Robotic Monkey vintage is a strong look. I do like it. I think I've got another bottle of Katie downstairs as well. I just picked up 3 bottles of Thatcher's randomly at the shop today.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Random
haven't gone wrong.
Absolutely, it's how you find new things.
Right. So before we move on to our main topic, this little thing I've got here has been with me for weeks. It says...
Same here.
It's got my address on it, which I will not reveal.
Me too.
Shit, yeah, we shouldn't show my address.
Unless you want to send me nice things, not turds in the post. It says...
badges.
Yeah.
Don't open that parcel, man.
Loads of badges.
Yeah, awkward.
It says, don't open till anniversary show. So who the hell sent me this? Oh, Candy, what is it?
Thank you.
I'm going to let you open them, and then I've got a little something to say as well, so get cracking.
Oh, my God.
So we all opening it all together then, are we?
Yeah, they're all the same.
I'm scared. I think I've got this dildo already.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what?
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
How cool is this?
What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's loose things. Careful. Mind that rat trap.
Oh, my God.
Man, that.
Look at this.
Incredible.
These are awesome.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I want to know what you think of
coaster.
it all, because I thought maybe
Oh
we
my
could
God.
maybe start doing some merch soon. We'll see if you think the quality's good enough.
Got a tote bag.
Yeah.
Like I've been to E3.
Yeah.
Stickers.
Beautiful.
Look.
Nice coffee mug.
A coffee mug.
Upside down, sorry.
If anyone wants to buy mine now, just go onto my OnlyFans page and DM me.
Oh, my God. Joe.
Is a notebook.
That'll be good for your D&D lit.
Oh, yeah.
A mask so we can advertise as we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oh, God.
Get that on for the listeners, for the watchers, in fact.
Yeah.
Get that.
Oh, they suit you. Look at that. Perfect.
Amazing.
And I just want to take a moment.
No.
Now you're all
Beer
open.
friendly.
Beer friendly, of course.
For the audio
Yeah,
listeners, we just got a massive Modern Escapism gift bag that's not available anywhere.
Like a goodie bag.
Yeah.
Look at that tote bag. Look at that.
This is so cool.
So fucking cool, man.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
You're very welcome.
I'm blown away.
I can put my notes
This is
in
now
here.
going to be upgraded to my D&D notepad. So this will
I'm
be
officially
everything.
using my coaster now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much for this, Joe.
You're a beauty.
No
You're a
worries.
beauty.
Incredible.
Let
And
me say a little...
£500. What's that for?
Oh, hang on. So Robotic Monkeys has pointed out, for the audio listeners, we are looking at, Candy's had printed up,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
a Modern Escapism tote bag,
Yes.
a notebook, a face mask.
Oh, what? Sorry?
A notebook.
Oh, fuck off.
Get to the chopper.
Coaster,
A book.
a pair of stickers with the two different logos that we have, and a kind of coffee mug, warm vacuum flask mug, with the spaceman helmet on it.
It's beautiful. I've got to cry.
Awesome.
Wow, I'm absolutely
Thank you so much.
blown away.
I'll put a photo of it all in the Discord as well for us, so everyone can see.
I'll
But
get it on
before we
Twitter.
continue, I do want to say a massive thank you, just for letting me on this pod. Like, before the pod, I was feeling, for various reasons, a little bit down about myself, and I don't know if it's the same for guys. I suspect probably not. But when you get to your mid-30s and you're a girl, you start to become slightly invisible. And I sort of spent the last decade building up other people's ventures and not necessarily my own. So I just want to say thank you for actually seeing me and welcoming me with open arms.
Oh, God.
And making me feel part of something. You've never made me feel like a noob or the odd one out, and it means a lot as a listener and a member of the show. It's really got me through some difficult times in the last year.
Oh, Joe. It's our honour, but we did need you for the quota. So
I was going to say, now you can't fire me anytime soon.
we had to do it, really. We had to. I'm joking. No, it's as if you never weren't here, in my opinion. So
Thanks.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like since you started as well, and as well, like we've had feedback from people as well saying how good it's been since you've been on as well. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely superb. You fit in perfectly. Yeah, just superb. Thank you.
And you have the best words of wisdom in D&D.
That is true. Yeah, no, I'll take that one. That's absolutely true.
Oh, thank you very much.
Sneaky saying 3 cheers for Candy. Punk saying Candy is the highlight of the show. Hicks is saying much love to Candy. Kieran says, oh, Candy, that's lovely. You're awesome. Nose Jam says, want to buy that drink flask.
Yeah. 50 quid.
Would flap those tears back in.
Back
you go.
Would you like me to show the stream what you sent me, Candy?
Yes, I did a little something else this week as well.
What the heck is happening?
You might have
So-
to look at your streams.
Okay.
Yes. You'll have to look at the streams. It's not going to be pretty. I'm just going to chuck an image source on the stream. It's going to look nasty, but Is
this
the picture, not the...
Is this the dildos?
No, not the picture. So Candy has had this done. If I just then boost the size of it and give them a few seconds to...
Wicked.
I'm still waiting.
Awesome.
As usual, I'm going to be last to see this, whatever it is.
You're always last to know, Oodles.
I know.
But it's fine because we've decided tonight also to announce we're changing our logo.
I get to decide that.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Candy is the art queen.
I'd like to thank Acid Pearl, my wonderful co-worker and friend, for doing that for me. At Bloody Earth, though.
I don't want to tell you that this is his last show.
For you, maybe.
Yeah, they're all kicking me off. They don't need me anymore.
Punk has said
here, drop these losers and start your own show. So.
I agree with him. Drop these losers. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Oh God, what an amount. Well, I haven't got you anything, so sorry. I mean, I've got you this podcast.
Exactly. That's all I need in life.
Thank you very much, Candy. That was
that is
amazing.
Of course.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
My pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely super.
And we're going to be here for another 10 years, don't you worry.
I've just replaced my shitty drinks mat on my desk.
Oh, yeah.
One, so.
Yeah, so good.
The thing is, Candy, I mean, I don't know what to do for the best because your one is absolutely lovely, but it would be replacing my Nuka-Cola one.
Oh, you could send that to me.
Yeah, that's a good trade.
Good, yeah.
Excellent. So, for the audio listeners, that was a load of tripe. But for everyone else, we loved it. So, Biggie, why don't you...
Hang on, we've got to re-drink.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Biggie, why don't you tell everyone what our main topic is this week? Because it's been a struggle.
Well, as you've already guessed, it's our birthday episode today. It's been a year. So thank you to everyone that helped set it up. Thank you to everyone that's been following us, supporting us. We are here because of you. We enjoy doing what we do because of who you are. And our community that's developed in Discord is just wonderful. More on that later. But it's been 1 year of modern escapism. So we thought this week we'd do an open topic. So we're going to talk about, what our favourite things are of all time. It's going to get deep.
Yeah, it were really, really fucking hard to think of something. It's like, you tell the person with the world's worst ADHD, you can talk about anything. I'm like, I have no idea what to do.
I mean, this is just an elaborate way to torture you, Oodles.
Yeah, I know. I was like, everything, anything. But anyway, let's do our typical round-robin style. Same order as we did on the Nexus. So, Gadget, what do you want to talk about?
So I want to talk about... like everyone, I kind of wrestled on this one. I did think for a while about maybe talking about the PS2 because that was a kind of a big thing in my life. But then I realized that over this past year, there's something that has become more important to me, and that is not just this podcast, but in general, podcasting.
It's so good, isn't it?
It is. I got into podcasts about 5 or 6 years ago. I'm fairly late to it.
Quite late.
Well, yeah, like I didn't care about when it was like the Ricky Gervais show and stuff like that. Like I wasn't bothered then.
I was about the same, to be honest.
I was more into music at the time, but I remember there was a time a couple of jobs ago when I was like bored at work listening to the same playlists over and over again, and music kind of wasn't doing it for me. And I've said before, like I'm a metalhead. There was nothing really in metal that was doing it for me.
Yeah, there was a bit of a metal death for a while, wasn't there?
Yeah, I still think it's going on, to be honest. There's not much I've heard that I like.
The death curd.
Yeah. So I remember listening to... Holy shit, Deadbeat Punk gave out 10 community subs. Woo!
Oh, thank you so much.
Dude.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Awesome, thank you.
What a legend.
He's a good lad. He's a
good lad indeed.
Just wish you wouldn't bring our name down, that's all.
Right, the brief. Happy birthday, cunts.
Hey.
That's the punk we know and love.
Thanks, babe.
Hey, Enflem. Music wasn't doing it for me, so I was kind of looking for something just to keep me occupied at work, besides work.
Hey, Enflem.
So I went onto Apple Podcasts and I just started flicking around, seeing what was there. And
it was a cesspit at that point.
It was a bit of a cesspit, but I discovered TCGS. That was the first podcast I ever listened to. It's where we all met. Because I went in, I thought, well, I like computer games, so I went in video games. Oh, the computer game show. that seems like it's right for me.
And that's what I call them as well.
And that was like they were on like episode 12 at the time, I want to say, like something really fucking early. And I got into them and I kind of listened to what they put out there and I got into it. And then I started like looking at more. So I just went in like what was popular. So I started listening to Reply All. Went straight in for that. I loved it. Started talking with people at work. Case File, that was another one. Fell into that. I'm not a big true crime person, but that guy's voice is just, it's like ASMR. It's beautiful. It's a proper slow, smooth Australian voice. A bit like Vati Vidya. That kind of voice.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And yeah, I just kind of fell really into podcasting in a big way. And it's actually at the point now where I don't listen to that much music anymore. It's if I listen to music, it's just like background ambient. So like I'll put a synthwave playlist on when I'm driving or something. But 9 times out of 10 these days, it's podcasts I listen to. I mean, in the last year, I started one. I started a second. And like I'm actively working towards getting to a point in my life where I can do podcasting for a living, you know? Like I'm trying to make
out of all of us, you're the one that could.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to make it a move. Like I know I've just had job offers for a new IT job, but like the intention is in a couple of years to try and make a move into podcasting full time.
I know people that do it.
Yeah, I mean, I discover so much. Like I listen to stuff like Hardcore History, and I hear like the background to a lot of stuff that I know the history of anyway, but I don't know the detail of, like stuff that we were taught in school, like you know, when you did World War II history in school, you did a little bit on the Pacific Theatre, but you didn't really do much on it. And yet, like in the last 2 years, I've listened to Dan Carlin talk about it for what feels like 16 days. Because that man does not do short podcasts.
No.
I listened to Marcus Brownlee. He has a podcast. He has the Waveform podcast. And much as I like his YouTube channel, I prefer his podcast because he gets into detail on things. What else do I listen to? I listen to Punk's podcast, What the Fuck Do You Want? Which just makes me giggle every Monday.
Do you know what I do like about Punk's podcast? And when you said podcast is the perfect little nugget, half an hour to get up, have a shit, have a shave, brush your teeth, and get out. By the time you're out of the house, it's done.
Well,
he's perfect for that.
He's my walk to the gym podcast.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm on that.
Yeah,
I am blowing his trumpet.
I'm pretty sure the next episode when this comes out, it's my episode.
That's probably its downfall. I'm joking.
What else was there? Like Dungeon Dads, who we had on here, Dungeons and Daddies as well.
Oh, top lads.
Like I was talking with Robotic Monkey about Dungeons and Daddies the other day because they did a thing in their campaign which had me in pain laughing. It was so funny. And if I hadn't just that day at work, if I hadn't gotten that bored and sat and listened to TCGS for the first time, I wouldn't be here. You know, I wouldn't be in the situation. Like, to kind of blow smoke up our own asses out of this, like, this has given me something to do and to focus on during lockdown, during a really hard year. And I'm the kind of person that I'm very much a doomsayer. Like, my brain always goes to the negative side of things. So I became very obsessed with this podcast really early, which is why I edit it the way I do, the reason why I kind of pushed us to get bigger faster.
And the way you taught Stig as well.
And the way I taught Stig and stuff like that. And because that kept me sane when we were in like the 8th or 9th month of lockdown, and I was actually really starting to be negatively affected by it. And the whole idea of a modern escapism podcast was so that, you know, we could talk about things that weren't COVID, because at that time in the year, every conversation with anyone, whether it was colleagues, friends, relatives, whatever, everyone was talking about how sick they were of COVID or how sick they were of the government.
You know, this is actually the third time we've ever mentioned that word.
Exactly, yeah.
It was unprecedented.
Yeah, but like this has been my therapy, and podcasting and other people's podcasts have been my therapy. So yeah, my favorite thing in the world at the minute is podcasts.
It's good to be in the scene as well, because like I like the British like resurgence of podcasting, because it started obviously when I started listening to Ricky Gervais. Like I got an iPod to listen to it, and then the second season you had to pay for it. I still did, and then the resurgence, it just jumped right over to the US, and the US was dominating it. And in the past, like I don't know, 5-6 years, the British scene's come right back, and now we're leading most of it now. I think. There's a massive British scene of it, and it's so nice to see. And like when like our social media manager Stig, he's liaison with loads of different podcast up and comers and people that are massive, and it's so nice to see.
Yeah, I found loads of new podcasts from doing that, like some really, really good ones. So much so that those ones that I kind of started out listening to several years ago, like, are just fallen by the wayside. And I know they're not small podcasts or anything, it is stuff just like Commode and Mayo, which I still enjoy listening to, but they aren't my like first go-to now on a Friday or like a Saturday, or when that podcast drops. It's other ones, and especially like the little indie ones. There's so many great indie podcasts out there that if you find something that sounds like your niche, just jump on it and give it a go, because it doesn't have to be presented by a celebrity. It doesn't have to be a BBC one, a BBC production. There's so many great podcasts out there that like, just find something you like and give it a listen.
Yeah, well,
we've had lots of support, haven't we? And we met on a podcast. We've started our own podcast, and now people that listen to us are starting their podcast. Yeah. So we're trying to support and share them as well, because that's what it's all about. You've got Angry Kurt with his Never Watchers with Pete.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good.
You've got Debbie Punk, you've already mentioned, doing his.
A load in our community are doing their own podcast, and they're all excellent.
Nimrod's just mentioned Chet and John's. Don't. That's just a dagger to my heart. That
Chet and John.
Nimrod.
Yeah, that were good.
I love that podcast.
It's nice. I liked doing my old podcast before this one, but there was only me and Bobby that wanted to do it. It was very difficult to get us together. So shooting that was killing that, firing squad in that was the best fit. And then me popping up in TCGS and just saying, "Come on, somebody help!" And it just happened.
Yeah.
And luckily, someone had an ear for sound. Thank fuck.
The last thing I'll say on it is just like from the community, from our community, like they've put me onto podcasts as well. So like, if it wasn't for Kurt and Doomican talking about it, I wouldn't have started listening to the Back Page.
The Back Page is really good.
Which is a fantastic gaming podcast. Same if Punk didn't shut up about them, I wouldn't have started listening to Filthy Casuals. There was Snugcast, which Stig guested on.
Yeah.
God is a Geek.
God is a Geek. That's a great one. I can't remember who mentioned it. I don't know if it was actually for our community or another one, but the Arcanery, which is a D&D one I listen to, which is like a DM tips one.
You need that.
He does not.
To kill Treble in the next episode. And I think I can't remember whether it was our community or whether it was the old TCGS one that we were in together, but the Darknet Diaries.
Oh,
that's an absolutely great
TCGS,
tech
that one.
Yeah, that was absolutely great tech podcast. So I just fucking love podcasting. This is my favorite thing.
Good, aren't they?
I mean, even when it gets irritating, even when I'm spending like fucking 6 to 8 hours editing an episode, it's still fun.
Yeah.
Even editing out every single one of Oodles is.
What?
I never noticed that before, but now I will.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
I did our Patreon special today, and I just spent time looking for I want an intro song for our Q&A. So I found the one. I'm going to use this one from that one. So when people load up and hear that, they know it's the Q&A one.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And then I'm like, right. So what can I lead this one out with? What song can I find that fits? And
it's great fun finding stuff like that, like stupid clips or anything like that. Especially now that we do the Patreon thing, and for people who aren't patrons, at the end of each episode, after the Patreon section, I don't end it with the theme tune. I end it with just a random song. We've had
when we meet the patrons round the back for you know what
I mean. I mean, there was one where in the Patreon bit we talked about football a lot, so I ended it with fucking Fat Les.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, perfect.
Got me pumped.
So good.
I keep trying to find the strangest songs that I can end things on.
I liked what I chose today. It fits something that.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to everyone in the Patreon hearing the Q&A, because that was a laugh, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
They always are a laugh, them ones. So yeah, we'll move on. Same order. It's me now. So I really struggled to think of favourite thing. So I just had to go with my heart, and this is going to be quite soppy now. So my favourite thing is booze. You have got me on a very, very rare non-booze day. The reason I'm not drinking booze today is because of booze. Yesterday, I am extremely hungover, which I usually am, or drunk. And Gadget does a really great job of editing it, so I'm less drunk, or more drunk sometimes.
But listeners and viewers, you're seeing how shit he is right now.
Oh God, I'm terrible. I've never been good.
And you wonder where all the Easter eggs of him come from.
Yeah. You see all the pre-podcast, like
What was that Easter egg I put in a couple of weeks ago? They'll never know I'm drunk.
It's when we're normally doing it, we're like when we're like syncing his audio and stuff, and I'm like, oh, and then it's like, let's go. I'm like, hello, and I'm just back in the room. It's
Sneaky.
crazy.
Don't encourage him. Sneaky saying, "Fuck yes, more respect for Oodles."
Yes,
but to be fair, Sneaky is a small Geordie man that drinks like he wants to die.
I also have a drinking problem. Usually when I run out, but yeah,
I'm about to run out.
I'm basically. I mean, if we weren't live, I would be running down to get more booze because I'm talking about booze. But let's not. I am hungover, so I just want to talk about my favourite booze, like boozers or drinks.
Soup.
Soup is up there, but it started Dragon Soup. If you don't know what that is, it's extremely strong energy drink. I have been on it out countless times when we record these shows. It's become a silly thing between us, like. I'm back and forth with PR at Dragon Soup now. We're best friends.
I was going to say, we're so close to being sponsored by them now.
I'm totally looking to do our Christmas special on the soup. Like,
we are going to be on the soup.
No one sells it locally to me, though, so I might have to organise for you to get some sent up.
I'll just bring some up, mate. I'll bring some. Don't you worry about it. I will soup everyone. But yeah, that's one of my favourites. It's 7.5, 8%-ish drink. It's super strong. It knocks your fucking ass off, and it's brilliant. You only need about 4 cans and you're away. But another new drink I've really got into. It's called Sunset Rum. Have we got any rum drinkers in here tonight? Because
I do like a good rum, a spice rum. I like a spice rum.
Yeah, spice rum.
So
with ginger beer.
Yep.
Oh yeah, rum and ginger beer is amazing. So this rum is a product of St. Vincent Distillers and is a winner of World's Best Overproof Rum. Now, overproof means it's really strong. It's 84.5%.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I had some of this
Good
tonight.
Lord.
Now, so, like I said, it's 84.5%. Sunset Rum is so strong that the label on the bottle recommends that you drink it with a mixer because not only can this rum cause burning sensations, but can actually cause burns.
Coming out.
Oh, yeah. Going in and out.
I'm pretty sure what Candy uses to clean down her workstation at the tattoo shop is not as strong as that.
Yeah, send some down.
It's really good. I recommend it. It's quite expensive. It's about £50 a bottle, but it's one of them that you just have a few and you're fucked.
I was at
I'd just look at it and I'd be fucked.
On my cruise ship day, somebody bought a bottle of I think it was Bacardi Spice Rum. It was in that sort of gold.
Yeah, they've got some really strong
bottle.
Bacardi ones.
And this guy was drinking it from the bottle that's sort of being passed around. And someone accidentally bumped him as he was drinking it and he poured it into his eye. And I've never heard a man scream so loud.
Oh, I felt that as well.
We had to get bottles of water and just pour it because a lot of the crew cabins had water. Yeah, we were just trying to wash that eye out. It was.
It's not like vodka that they used to use for like medicine and stuff.
Yeah.
Some rums are fucking bastards.
It's like that character in Kevin and Perry, Eyeball Paul.
Eyeball Paul. Fucking eyeball comes out at the end.
A new one that I'm really into is called Dragon Stout. It's actually the only place I've seen it is Asda, and you know I like a stout. It's a Jamaican stout as well. It's really nice, and as usual, quite strong, about 7%. You know I like a strong drink. That's really really flavourful. It's really barley taste to it. Quite sweet as well. It's got that coffee aftertaste that you want with a good stout. That's a really good one. Does anyone else drink stout here?
I can have.
I was born on St. Patrick's Day, so I always have one.
I tried some when actually when I guested on Snugcast. I had a crate of our local brewery, and that had a few stouts in, which I actually really liked. They had a milk stout in there, and something else which I can't remember the name of. And I actually really like them because for the longest time I was always a bit like, it was a bit too much for me.
Too rich.
Yeah, but I do kind of enjoy trying new things. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, sometimes it does. But yeah, I'm very much into trying, like, grabbing a different kind of drink from the supermarket now and try something.
Incredible. Yeah, try milk stout because I think it's a good in-between, really. It's still nice and creamy.
I'm not a fan of a milk stout. I've had a chocolate stout before that was really nice.
Oh, yeah, they can be really good.
They're, super rich. Like, you can have one and then you go into a diabetic coma.
yeah.
Oh, that's the problem with Guinness, for example. It can just fill you up quite quickly. It's very heavy. I guess most stouts are similar.
Drinking a loaf of bread. But yeah, my favourite all-time stout is Aslan's Brewery, Satan's Airport it's called. It's huge, big bottle, sweet malty richness. It's got that coffee aftertaste, just oh god, you get raisins, caramel, toffee. It's so fucking good, but it's so expensive. It's like £14 a bottle and it's only a normal stout size bottle, but it's so incredible. And now I'm gonna reel off a few of my cheap beers for the less connoisseur.
I do
less
like
alcoholic.
how your favourite drink is called Satan's. Seems very on brand.
Absolutely. The favourite cheap beers that you can just get anywhere for cheap is Birra Moretti. Love.
That's what I'm drinking.
Yeah, I think it's sensational.
Exactly.
Especially
£5.50 for 4 bottles.
If I go into a pub and I'm in the mood for beer, it's a Moretti that I'll go for.
Yeah, out of the tap, it's incredible for a cheap drink.
Yeah, like you walk in more. It's maybe like 50 pence more expensive than a Foster's or a Carling, but you don't get that chemically taste. You don't get that watery taste that you get out of Foster's.
It doesn't smell of weed.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a proper lager.
Yeah, it's really nice. Sorry for the Irish listeners, cover your ears. I like a Guinness, even in England. A proper pod Guinness where it's left to do its Guinness
It's so
thing.
different in Ireland. It's so
I was going to say,
different.
I know it doesn't travel at all.
It's way better.
It's incredible.
He doesn't travel.
Absolutely incredible.
You should follow a Twitter page called Shit London Guinnesses. All it is just pictures of like people just pouring really shit Guinnesses or pouring them in glasses that don't suit a Guinness. Like,
can't you remember, Stig? You might not remember because you were a bit stigged as well. When we went to EGX Resd, and I got that Guinness in that expensive pub that I was fuming about, like nearly like £9 a pint.
Home.
And he just gave me the head was that fucking high on it. What was I supposed to do with that?
Yeah,
fucking shocking. And my other go-to is Effer's Pilsner. It's just absolute classic Turkish Pilsner. Oh, for a cheap beer, it's incredible.
Robotic Monkey's come in with a strong look for a cheap one. Cheap French stubbies from the supermarket.
Oh, like Starburg and stuff.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I had a
classic,
stubby.
The stubbies, like 24 pack.
What's the one that my dad always used to get? Like it was called Le Bière Français.
They're really good. Beer. No, Stubbies, and someone argue with me because you won't be able to, but Stubbies, like a big frozen, well, you put them in a swimming pool, a little paddling pool or something all day, at a barbecue, Stubbies, oh, you can have a full crate to yourself. It's incredible. Or I can. if you're an idiot. And finally, my favourite cocktail of all time. Now, I'm quite a fruity guy. And my favourite cocktails are Mai Tai.
Ooh.
Good choice. Mm-hmm.
So it's a cocktail based on rum, Caraco liqueur, orgeat syrup, lime juice, and it's quintessential tiki cocktail. It's just a proper like island cocktail. I love a Mai Tai. It's not very impressive when you're out there with your umbrellas and.
I fucking love cocktails. If I'm in the mood for a cocktail,
the other week when I went on Leeds, like. The men always buy the old fashioned because they think they're Don Draper. Like, get a fucking Mai Tai down your boy.
Like a woo woo or a mojito. Like just
sex on the beach.
Margarita.
If you're going out on a Friday night after work, the best first drink you can get of the night is a espresso martini.
Oh yeah,
oh, God, yeah.
Because it gives you that shot of caffeine. It tastes really nice and it gets you going.
Yeah.
So before we move on, do we have your all individual favourite cocktails / drinks? What do we like?
So I'm a whiskey man, and I like neat single malt Scotch whiskey. I don't bother with ice. I've got some
a head teacher.
Yeah, I've got those metal balls that you put in the freezer. So don't water down your whiskey.
Yeah.
And for me, it's stuff like I like Hague, which is not the best whiskey in the world, but it's a really nice whiskey. Glenmorangie is my favorite. Glenlivet.
Yeah.
Lafrogue. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Lagavulin, if I can ever afford it.
I think it's Lefroy.
Very expensive. Lefroy, that sounds right.
I think so.
I think it is.
I also like Bullet Bourbon, which is very different, but I can drink that one east, and I really like that.
It's more of a whiskey liqueur, that isn't it?
Yeah, but
it's very weird taste.
Yeah, it goes down nicely though. Obviously, I'm drinking my normal everyday drink is a cider. Because a
cider's an outsider drink. It's a good summer drink.
Yeah, it's really fucking hot in this room. Man. It's nice, but yeah, that's the problem. It gives you a massive heartburn.
You're just like that in bed going, oh, fucking cider.
Yeah. And if I'm in the pub, it'll be a Moretti.
Yes, absolutely, Moretti. So anybody else? Yeah. What do you all like?
Yeah, I'm a cider. Cider. I'm a whiskey person.
Cider.
I do like some cider as well, but no,
it's a cider drinker. She drinks it all the day.
I walked into that. Absolutely walked into it. But no, I like whiskey, and I like my sours. I like whiskey sours. I also really like.
Do you like whiskey sour?
7 and 7 as well, if I want something that isn't quite so strong or a bit of a longer drink, which is usually there's various, normally it's wild, I normally have it with wild turkey and 7-Up, but I prefer it in America because the 7-Up over there is just incredible. Loads and loads of ice.
In it.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. I've been absolutely blasted on those. Or just a straight Jack Daniels as well, like one lump of ice, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't mind a Jack Daniels. I mean, a lot of whiskey drinkers are like, oh, that's not even whiskey. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Tastes good. Tastes good.
I only like Jack Daniels if it's with Pepsi Max. Like, I can't even drink a Jack and Coke. Like,
wow,
it's a very strange flavor, Jack Daniels. But it was one of those drinks that I got really, really drunk on really early on. Like I was like 16 or 17. And yeah, it was basically I was at a party at a friend's house. And one of the lads turned up with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a 2-litre bottle of Pepsi Max. He like drank some of the Pepsi Max and just poured it in the bottle. It was fucking rocket fuel. We were all fucked by the time we got to the label. Like we were all like proper.
That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Stig, what you like?
I like whiskey, but unsurprisingly, I haven't drunk much this year.
No, I can't imagine why.
I wonder why. Here's the artist's impression of what happened.
It's more like, and then just off, and then it went off.
And he went.
Bleh. When you wearing that same T-shirt?
Yeah, I was.
He hasn't worn it since.
Speaking of which, like Christmas episodes, it was suggested earlier up in the chat that we should do that one live. I'm not really sure that's.
We're doing it live.
I think that's a good, especially if we're all drinking dragon soup.
I'm not drinking that much whiskey again. There's a full bottle nearly.
No, we're having soup. It's a soup Christmas.
Anyway,
it's a very soupy Christmas.
I do like whiskey every now and again. I like smoky whiskies. So I like a Jura, and that got me a really nice Belveni.
I do like a Belveni.
So that's really nice. I just like all sorts. Depends what the mood's taking me. Like the last couple of years, really got into gin. I've shown everyone our gin collection. It went from about 6 bottles to now there's probably about 40 different gins.
It's the one realm I've never delved down. I don't delve down the gin. I haven't been there yet.
It's so refreshing. Sometimes it's like it is just. And then if I'm having a crap day and I want to relax and sink into the sofa and relax,
he has a wank and a gin.
No,
just like my grandma.
Look.
Sorry, everyone.
Absolute dirt, this one, in this episode.
Podcast title.
Yeah.
Just like grandma.
Just like grandma. Oh, God.
It's gone.
This happens regularly, by the way.
Fuck me. No, also before you get started against Tig, Tig's put up a good point. Bowmore is very pitty. You'll like that.
Okay, yeah.
And he's right. Bowmore is really fucking nice. That was one of my 30th birthday presents. A nice big bottle of Bowmore. Didn't last long beyond the 30th birthday, but it was very good.
For time consciousness, one more, Stig. What's your favourite cheap beer?
I don't know. Probably
Foster's.
Probably a Stella.
Oh,
Stella's good, man. Stella's good.
Stella's proper chemically. I hate it.
Yeah.
I like it. Right, Biggie, what's your drink? Go-to drink?
Really simple for me. In the warmer months, it's cider. And then speckled hen in the winter months.
Speckled hen!
Ooh, good.
And any of them, golden hen, speckled hen, it's all good. It's the same with ciders. Unlike any Thatcher cider, any decent cider, I'll drink it. It's all good.
I bet you can sit and drink scrumpy in a paddling pool all day, can't you?
Maybe. And then I'd like to finish the evening off with a JD, but with Diet Coke in a nice tall glass, lots of ice. I love it. Generally a double at least, sometimes a triple.
Quick, scroll through the chat. What are people into? What are they like?
Kieran saying fucking love Stella. Tig saying cheap beer for me is San Miguel.
Yes, San Miguel.
Enflem saying cider and JD.
Yeah, not together, hopefully.
Well, you never know. Nimrod Hicks says Southern Comfort is the first drink I properly got hammered and hurled on. Can't even smell it now without retching.
If you listen to our Q&A, you'll know what I got first. What I first drank.
Sneaky saying Jack Daniels, rums, whiskey, very pure, strong vodkas, and Moretti's for me.
Oh, Moretti's so. It's cheap beers go. I think Moretti's king at the moment.
Right, it's good.
It really is.
And people Tiggs pointed out Moretti Rosa is worth trying too. 7.5% and much darker.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. Excellent. Thank you, chat. We will get back to you in a second, but now we're moving on to Candy.
I'm going to talk about a TV show that started in the very late 90s called Spaced.
Way.
Absolutely love it. One of my all-time favourite TV shows, and I still watch it now at least twice a year, I think. And it launched the careers of Jessica Hines and Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and director Edgar Wright. The latter of the three went on to create the infamous Cornetto trilogy films. So you got Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End.
Yes.
As I said, it was released in 1999, which was kind of at the time where fandom was starting to be a bit more embraced as a more accepted subculture and wasn't just restricted to your sort of classic basement dwelling nerd. It's now Space, if you haven't heard of it or if you don't know what it is, Space is a cult comedy TV show and it ran for just 2 seasons in 1999 and 2001. It follows the lives of Tim and Daisy, who are a pair of friends who met as a chance encounter, and for the sake of renting this flat, they pretended to be a couple. Now the surrounding cast are kind of a motley crew of characters, and they all live in the apartment building, or they're the friends of the main characters. So you've got Marsha, who's the drunken landlady.
She's always fagging it as well.
You've got fag on, hello, my name's Marsha.
That's a really good impression.
That was superb.
That's really good.
It's almost as if I practiced. She used to.
Hang on, give us an all right, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Well done.
I'm ready for the reboot.
It's really good.
And if you don't remember, she actually used to be married to the drummer of Status Quo.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Brian, who's the kind of creepy basement neighbour and struggling artist. Mike, who's Tim's military-obsessed best friend who once stole a tank and invaded Paris.
Yeah. God.
Now, what I love about Space and what keeps me watching it is in each stage of life, I've kind of related more and more to a different character. So as a young, bright-eyed candy machine as a teenager, I was Tim. So I was the computer game-obsessed comic book artist. Then I went to college and became more like Brian the Misfit. Stoner. Brian. Yeah, hated everyone, hated myself, just wanted to do my art and I was too cool, man. Now, in my 20s, I was Daisy. So Daisy, nice but lazy. And now I've got to my mid-30s, and I think I relate mostly with Marsha. So I've got a glass of wine in my hand constantly.
When do you get your mic phase?
Oh, that hasn't kicked in yet. We'll see.
50s.
It's the Modern Escapism paintballing episode.
Yeah.
You shot me in the bollocks, Tim.
God, it's such a good show, man.
Oh,
It's
it's
amazing
so good.
show.
Like every episode is just it's basically a pop culture checklist. So both visually and within the script as well. And now as the years have gone by as well, whilst I've consumed more media, I find myself noticing more and more references. And I think that style carried over to Shaun of the Dead too. You've got all the zombie films like "Join us, they're coming to get you, Barbara." They're all famous zombie film quotes.
Yeah.
And it might be because I do watch it regularly, but I do think the show has aged quite well, despite it now being over 20 years old.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think it does, yeah.
Yeah. I think the only real clue, obviously it's filmed in a 16:9, but it would be Tim playing his original PlayStation. And,
playing Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
When he falls asleep and then wakes up and he's like, "Whoa!" He carries on.
No, he did too much speed, didn't he, the night before, and he stayed up all night.
We've all been there.
All been there. It's also pretty unproblematic as well. Like, given a lot of other comedies that came out around
Everything's problematic.
Yeah, a lot of the other comedies came around the same time. By today's standards, obviously, have been deemed inappropriate, and rightly so in a lot of cases. But it is proof that comedy can be funny without just insulting people.
Yeah.
And the unlikely friendship that kind of forms between the characters as well, like particularly Tim and Daisy's. It's just really heartwarming, and it's just a nice little story wrapped up in a comedy. Now, my all-time favourite episode, and it's just my absolute favourite piece of media ever. It's an episode from series 2, and it's called Gone. It involved Tim and Daisy going out on the piss in Camden.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Daisy inadvertently giving a gang of youths a bag of oregano, if you want to call it, instead of weed. And if you have seen Spaced, it's the one with the slow motion gunfight. So
yes, absolutely.
Just every part of that episode is just absolutely perfect. And if you do watch just one episode of Spaced, please make it that one. I remember sitting down on a Friday night and watching it with my mum, and it was on on a really prime slot as well. It's Friday night, Channel 4, and it was in between Friends and Frasier.
It was like 9:30 or something like that, wasn't it?
That's right, which is unbelievable in itself, really. And I remember my mum and I just in absolute tears of laughter watching this one episode. But yeah, that's a good point. Like, speaking of which, I can't imagine any comedy, let alone a sort of relatively new indie comedy, that would have that kind of time slot or TV slot again. Most of them are shown on the sort of the digital channels, aren't they?
The only
like
one I
BBC
can think of in the last several years has been Friday Night Dinner.
Yeah, and that's quite quality, actually.
It's got about half the same cast as well, because Mark Heap's in that one. And
he's just so good at playing weird characters.
I
Shalom,
that's
Jackie.
A bit of art imitating life.
Yeah, with Spaced, I always loved how stacked the gags were.
Yeah,
like there's so many ones that just kind of you don't notice them at first. You think it's just a little funny aside, but then when you go back, you realize how smart it is. Like there's two that always stick out to me. First one's in the very first episode when it's Tim and Daisy getting to know each other, and Daisy mentioned something about Tim regularly masturbates to Gillian Anderson. She was.
And we've all been there.
Well, but his response is she was FHM sexiest woman in the world in 1997. And she says, "What about you?" She says, "I wasn't placed." She's trying to move the conversation up. And the other one is the on the video gaming episode, the Resident Evil episode where Mike is on the phone. Tim, I'm in Sheffield. How did he get to Sheffield? I fell asleep on the tube. The tube doesn't go to Sheffield. I must have changed to King's Cross.
That episode's really good because they actually do the script from Resident Evil, don't they? Where they go, split up, look for any survivors, and get out of here.
And like stuff like even like they use the music from the police station and as the credits come across.
Yeah, there's also that episode that haunted me with when it was David Walliams in that gimp suit.
Same episode.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, David Walliams and Ricky Gervais is in it as well, very briefly.
Yeah. It's
Vulva.
Really good space.
Vulva is.
That's it. Oh god.
And
he used to date her or something, didn't he?
They used to Brian.
Yeah.
God, and Dennis Bennett as well.
Yeah. Again, that's another one of those kind of throwaway stacked gag lines. It's like, what did we do last night? Well, we went to a pretentious art show, you got drunk off your arse, you ate a load of Twiglets, and you punched a pretentious artist in the face. Oh, God, why did I do that? I'm not allowed to eat Pringles. I'm not allowed to eat Twiglets.
Make me violent.
Yeah.
You're so good at remembering quotes, Gadget. I've noticed this.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
If it's something that I love, even if I don't get the precise, even if I'm paraphrasing it, I'll remember the quotes.
Yeah.
I like Candy. I watch Spaced all the time. I fucking love it.
I haven't seen it in years, but I remember when I watched it a few years ago. I think my son was alive, so within the last 8 and 9 years, however old he is. Yeah, I did say that. However old he is, I watched it then, and it still held up then. I just like it. It's just so good, and it's a world away from what Simon Pegg is now, isn't it? Really, it's like
Mr. Hollywood now.
Mr. Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that's the reason why I think Shaun of the Dead works as well, because you've already got that chemistry that you've got in space between Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, and they're actually friends in real life. And then you see Shaun of the Dead, and it just carried on. It's such a good movie, and all three Cornetto movies are really good.
Yeah,
World's
End's.
It's
all right, but it's nowhere near as good as the other two. But I listened to a podcast the other day, and we were talking about Hot Fuzz, obviously recounting it, doing quotes, and I just sat there giggling away, like, because I think just
Hot
them
Fuzz
recounting and saying the quotes and saying what happened, it just reminded me how fucking good it is. Yeah, Hot Fuzz is definitely my favourite.
Yeah,
it's the best out of the three. Massive margin.
When me and Pip first started dating, I remember she was telling her friends about me. Like, she was on a phone call with her friends, and her description of me was, he's a nice guy, he wears glasses, and he's got a great big bushy beard.
Spot on, really. But for me, no comedy. It's really has ever spoken to me as hard as Space did. Still quote it constantly, evidently, and I think nearly all people my age will get references. And it sounds corny to say, but I do think it kind of shaped me as a person, because it came to me at just the right age. I think I was.
That's so corny to say.
So corny. But I was 12 or 13 when it was first released, so it taught me that I could embrace my enjoyment of video games and pop culture and not be seen as an outcast, really.
I really
me
like
at that
Space.
same age as well.
What was the sketch show they did before that Simon Pegg was on?
Big Train.
That's also really good.
That is
as well.
very funny.
Kieran just said something great in the chat. He said, I love that Tim in Space said that every odd-numbered Star Trek was shit, and then Pegg was in an odd-numbered Star Trek, which was shit, which was the worst out of the three.
Yep.
No, he wrote the third one.
That's it, sorry, he wrote it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Star Trek Beyond, was it? Or something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember anything.
I've only seen the
I don't remember anything from that one.
Well, what I do remember is there was a lot more Scotty in it.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're going to write yourself in.
Whoa, hang on a second. Robotic Monkey is saying in the chat here, Babylon 5 was shit. We need to have a discussion about this. We can't be having slander such as that.
Babylon 5 was a big pile of shit.
How dare
Space quote.
It is a space quote.
I once punched a man for saying Kroll was rubbish.
I mean, to be fair,
good choice with Spaced. Absolutely. If you've never watched it and you're listening to this, just watch it. I think it's on all four, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it usually is. I'm pretty sure Channel 4 own it.
Yeah. So excellent. Stig, what are you bringing to the table?
I would like to talk about one Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger. Specifically, the 1984 to 1994 years. The 10 years.
The peak years.
When he was the governor in the US.
The golden years of Arnold Schwarzenegger. The greatest action hero of all time, in my opinion. And this 1994 run has a couple of duffers in there, but in the whole, it is an amazing 10 years. You start out with The Terminator, then he does Red Sonja, Commando, Raw Deal, Predator, The Running Man, Red Heat, Twins, Total Recall, Kindergarten Cop, Terminator 2, Last Action Hero, and True Lies.
Love True Lies.
How many films was that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Film a year,
8,
wasn't
9,
it?
10, 11, 12, 13 in 10 years.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
I mean, he was from Conan, the first Conan. He's pumping out a film like every couple of films a year.
Every 6 months.
Yeah, it's just. He's just.
That was in those days where you could do a film in 3 months. Or at least do a principal photography for a film.
There wasn't a lot of special effects.
I've seen Conan. It's all in one blood soundstage, isn't it? Conan.
It's like the films that they have nowadays. Like, you know, like it takes them like a year to make an Avengers film because of all the constant setups and reshoots and stuff like that. Whereas when
globetrotting,
when they're doing those kind of 80s action films, it's just like, right, do it as quickly and cheaply as possible. That's how they made so much money, because the fucking
everything's set in Los Angeles.
So when I mentioned earlier that I watched a couple of films, this was a couple of films here. There was a couple of blind spots I'd not seen. I'd not seen Red Heat, so I watched that this week. Don't know how I'd not watched Red Heat. I really enjoyed that. There are things in it. A
lot of asses at the beginning.
It's a really weird opening scene.
It is.
It just feels like
a lot of man ass.
It feels like it's like, right, Arnold's going to be dressed most of this film. So let's just put this scene of him in a Turkish bath fighting other muscular men, just so we can see his body.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I also watched Conan, which I know is not in this run, but I wanted to watch the film that kind of started it all. It's a bit shit.
Yeah,
No,
Conan's crap.
it's very shit.
Yeah, Conan's crap. Red Sonja's better than Conan.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
It's very shit. It's in the same way that, like, you look at, like, 90s video games, it's just like, yeah, they're actually a bit shit, but they were pretty good for the day.
Yeah.
It's a bit like a music video, if I remember now.
Conan just moves
got
from
weird
one place to another with
posing.
nothing really happening. Like, it just...
Yeah, it's got weird pacing.
It's got really weird pacing. Anyway, so I think his career basically kind of hit its stride with the Terminator. And obviously we talked about those last week, so I don't really want to get too much into the Terminator films. I want to talk about more like him and the other films that he did. So I just think he's brilliant. Like, he's got such great expressional. He doesn't have great range. That's the thing. He's not a great actor, but for the parts that he plays them so well. He's got such a great.
He's got a physical
expressional
presence,
face. Yeah, he's an amazing physique with a great presence, and he's got natural charisma.
Mm.
And he was told that he would never be a leading man because of his accent and because he was too big. And that 10 years and those films basically prove everyone wrong that told him that.
He's got a lot of heart, I think, as well as an actor. You get you get warmth from him.
Yeah.
And not so much like Terminator, but
I think
I'll be back with flowers.
yeah.
I think he was kind of fortunate at the time that he did Conan. Like, that was when Sylvester Stallone was starting to get a lot of action films as well, and
Stallone won an Oscar though with Rocky, didn't he? He came out with Punch.
Well, yeah, but Rocky in itself is not an action film; it's a drama.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas, like in the 80s, Stallone started with Rambo, where he had a similar physique.
Yeah,
and it's like,
yeah,
and like if it weren't for Sylvester Stallone getting as big as he did physically and in the box office, I don't think Arnie could have done that. I think like Arnie kind of rode on those coattails slightly, and that's how this 80s style of big bulked up action heroes started.
Yeah,
I was going to say, like, you also had like Jean-Claude Van Damme around the same time.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you had those three as like your big, like, muscular men.
And then Steven Seagal at the back end of it.
Yeah, like to your left foot, Seagals.
Look at my hands.
You know, they weren't ripped, but they were tall guys with. You had some muscle like your Kurt Russells and things like that. So because your 60s and 70s action heroes were just kind of normal guys, and then 80s was like, and the early 90s was like, this is the muscle men. Yeah, like we talked about the Terminator. That's just an amazing film. It's just shot so well lit, written, directed amazingly. Last week, I noticed actually that we said that we didn't think it had done that well. It actually did. It was listed as it was in the top 10 movie of the year for most people.
I said that.
It's not like us to be wrong.
It didn't have a drop in the box office for several weeks.
Oh
wow!
I was always of the mind that it was
you
like,
knew
it
that
was
because
like
you were there as an adult.
Yeah,
I was always of the mind that it was a bit of a cult hit because it was so long between the first film and the second film.
No, but I think that's just Cameron like making sure he had the right script and the right idea, because obviously he comes back
did the Abyss and stuff
with a different spin. Now obviously the Protector is the he's the Protector, and we've got some Hasta La Vista line in there.
Spoiler alert.
Stuff like, well, I mean, yeah, these spoiler alert for these films I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about
35-year-old films.
But yeah, in that what we've got Predator. The Predator for me is Arnie's best film.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
Well, I disagree.
I love it.
I just don't think there's a wasted moment in that film.
Yeah.
It's John McTiernan's second ever film. He'd only directed one before that. And he managed to get so much action out of the film where you only see the Predator right at the end.
Yeah.
That's one of the
really
best
clever
things about that film is less is more.
It's the same with the first Alien film that you don't see until the last 90 seconds.
Jaws.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's about like the build up. Yeah, like Jaws, you only get glimpses of it every now and again, and then it attacks the boat, and that's the bit where you see the shark properly. But yeah, and the stick around was ad-libbed by Arnie.
Yeah.
You're one ugly motherfucker. That was ad-libbed by Arnie. None of these were in the script.
Dylan, see the CIA got you pushing too many pencils.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
Where was he from?
Yorkshire, I think.
North Wales, by the sound of it.
Yeah. Sneaky's just put in our chat here, Jean-Claude Van Damme was the original Predator. Yeah, I knew that. And
he was, but he looked weird.
And they had like a really awful
mask.
Design as well.
Costume, it's so funny. You have to see the clip.
Awful.
You have to see that clip.
So glad they went a different direction with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even just like so what we've got the action films in that run. We've got Total Recall, True Lies, The Running Man, and Commando. And I fucking love Commando.
I think True Lies is his best film. That's my favourite.
No, that's the one. That is the one out of the lot that's dated the worst.
I
don't know. Commando has dated.
No.
John Matrix.
When it comes to like modern standards and the way that women are portrayed and the way that people from certain countries are portrayed, that is why we never got True Lies 2, because Cameron said, I can't do that kind of film in this modern.
Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies was incredible.
Oh yeah, she was great. True Lies is just. Man, I
just love it.
I just love these films. Like even down to when he starts to do comedy.
Nimrod saying he's never seen Commando. So I'm assuming he doesn't know what the Commando baddie looks like. What's his name?
Oh, so Commando baddie is called
Freddie Mercury.
So can you imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger, 1985, peak physical perfection, massive. And like there are scenes of him. There is literally a scene of him gearing up before he goes and takes on the compound, and it's just like
he goes like this with you.
Yeah, he's like he's strapping everything on like that, and it's just like muscles on muscles. Like this is Arnie. And the bad guy is a fat Freddie Mercury
with chainmail
with a chainmail vest on.
I'm just going to show you on the screen.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
Yeah, True Lies does stand up now, but it's just the type of stuff going on in the film.
Look at the state of this guy.
Not aged as well. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Can you believe? Like, look at that. Right, click on that picture next to Arnie, of him next to Arnie, the black and white one.
Ridiculous.
How can you compare? These guys are meant to be in the same like mercenary unit. Like they just don't compare. Like
it's a stunt double.
I like it when he's got Sully by his ankle. When he's got Sully by his ankle, he's like, remember when I told you last? I lied.
Yeah, drops him. And then he goes back to the woman at the car. He's like, where's Sully? And he's like, I let him go.
Do you recognise the actor, though, for those that may not be so au fait with who he is?
No.
He's from Mad Max 2. He's the villain in Mad Max 2.
Oh, is that why he's Australian in that as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Look at that look on his face.
I don't need the gun, John. I don't need the gun.
Don't need the gun, John. Don't need the gun. Oh God, it's so.
I absolutely love Commando because it's just so over the top. It is literally just Arnie shooting guns with his muscles out and one-liners everywhere. When he has that fight in the motel, he's like, "I eat green berets for breakfast." He's like, "All right, now I'm very hungry."
He pushes him through a wall, doesn't he?
Actually, watch that scene when he pushes him through the wall. The way that couple are as well. There's something going on there.
The shagging.
No, like I mean, the way that they're positioned is it looks like she's pegging him.
Oh God. That's aged wonderfully.
Yeah, but
Sandbone Soul says just that bit at the beginning when he's carrying the fucking oak tree on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Hasn't he got his daughter on one arm?
No,
the oak tree on the other arm.
He's just carrying an oak tree, and the next scene is like him eating ice cream with his daughter and playing with.
No, he's got a house in the other arm.
Yeah,
yeah.
But like he went on. Obviously, he did these action films like Predator, Total Recall. Again, I love Total Recall. It's got a great director. It's got a great premise.
We say he had free hands.
It cost $55 million and topped out at around 260. And
Nimrodix has asked what is pegging. Google it on a VPN.
I'll show you later.
And I just I love the Total Recall isn't just it is a mindless action film, but it leaves you guessing because right at the end it fades out to white and it leaves you guessing. It's got a very open ending and it's not as simple as it seems. But again, it's full of Arnie one-liners like just I see you at the party, Richter, as he like drops him off.
Get your ass to Mars.
Yeah. And I love this quote from Arnie. He said, "They tried to copy it. Someone tried to make a remake of it. How stupid is that?"
Yeah.
I mean, the Total Recall remake was dreadful.
Yeah, and he was right.
I've never watched it.
But even
Colin Farrell did as best he could with what they did, but it was.
It's got a couple of bits in it that are good.
But isn't Colin Farrell's more close to the source material?
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, like if you haven't seen the Arnie film and you've read the book, the original book that it's based on, then the Colin Farrell one is technically the better film, but it's not as entertaining as the Arnie film.
It's not fun, is it?
No.
Yeah,
to be fair, the book isn't fun. The book isn't fun. No. It's not supposed to be.
That's the best thing about Arnie films. They are fun. They are stupid and over the top. Not all of them. Terminator is like kind of away from that. But Commando and True Lies and The Running Man.
Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero is underrated to fuck.
It's clever. It's very clever, that
and
film.
I love the part where he's like trying to convince him. He's like, you played the greatest like action hero of all time. Look, he takes him to a video stall and it's got Stallone dressed as the T-800.
don't they have like... Doesn't he mention there's like President Schwarzenegger or President Stallone or something like that in that?
No, the T.
No, you're thinking of oh fuck me, Demolition Man. That's
yeah. Oh, that's a different film.
You see, my favorite Arnie film. It's the one that no one ever seems to reference, but I fucking love Jingle All the Way, and I watch it every year.
Jingle All the Way's great
because it's a different side to Arnie, but he still gets to be a little bit of the action hero with it.
Turbo Man.
I think Jingle All the Way has had a resurgence.
I like when
out.
Arnie does comedy because I think he's a very funny guy. Because
who's your daddy and what does he do?
He's very deadpan. Just naturally, he's a very deadpan man. But he's also like if you watch like any of his live streams or any of his YouTube videos, or anything where he's talking politics or whatever, he's incredibly charming and endearing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he comes across well with that in Jingle All the Way. Like that works for how he presents himself. And also, I just like seeing him fucking fighting with Sinbad in a shopping mall. That's hysterical. I watch it every year. It's like one of my guaranteed Christmas films. And
it's got thingy in it. It was Lionel Hutz. What's his name?
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman, yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Phil Hartman.
And I was going to jump on that. It's comedy. I like Twins, and I like Kindergarten Cop. Yeah, like Kindergarten Cop isn't a great film, but there's parts of it that I really like, and it's the comedy aspect of it. But Twins, I love Twins. I love the concept of they took all the good stuff and put it into this one man, and they took all the shit stuff that was left over, and they made Danny DeVito.
He's got a great relationship with Danny DeVito in that film as well. Like the two of them work really well together. I'd love to see them do another film.
But they did Junior as well, but Junior's all right, but not as good. It's fun, but not as good. It's
always confused me as a kid because I thought you were pooing baby out.
Yeah, I just
I didn't know I were a kid. I didn't know how.
I don't know how it's an odd one.
I know he has a cesarean. I'm not stupid now.
I don't remember much about Junior, but I don't remember liking it that much, to be honest.
No, it's shite.
Yeah,
fucking awful.
I've not watched it in a long time, so I've probably got.
Junior's the Arnie downturn.
94. True Lies is the kind of ending. He's got that 10-year run. And then it's the downfall up until he starts.
He did the Equalizer, didn't he? That was good.
Equalizer's okay.
Your luggage.
The Sixth Day has a few good ideas in it, but
End of Days.
I like the clone,
End of Days, I didn't like
in it, like him not realizing and stuff like that. Like there's a few things I liked about that, but then it's the True Lies is the definite downfall of him, and it's just kind of like he's not really bothering anymore, and then he was more bothered about getting to politics and stuff. So. Yeah, he's just, he is the king of one-liners, isn't he? Like everyone can quote a Narnia one-liner. Can't say that about everyone else, and I just...
My favourite one from Total Recall.
Oh, I tell you what, he does some spectacular in Conan, in that first fight scene in the pit. Yeah. He's getting bitten by the other fighter, and he's like... I was like, wow, that's like...
Same in Red Sonja. You need to see Red Sonja next.
I'm going to catch up because I know that Raw Deal. I've not seen that one as well. That's on...
Oh, Raw Deal's so fucking
That's on Netflix as well. So I'm kind of working my way through the ones I've not seen. But the ones I have seen, obviously, I absolutely love. And just, Arnold Schwarzenegger's 10-year career between those years, just untouched in action, I think.
Like, it's all right in Expendables, but he's only in it for 2 minutes, isn't he?
Yeah, that
was for long. Proper dick waving competition. That film,
he's in Expendables 2 and 3. Like
he's in Expendables 2, and I haven't seen. And he says he's with Bruce Willis, and he's like, and he says yippee-ki-yay. Like,
does he? Oh,
Expendables was such a wasted concept. Like,
I've only seen the first.
They've got this like group of like these,
every minute,
all of them are in there, and it's called the Expendables. None of them die. Like if they're called the Expendables, like have a bit of risk about them, but like they're clearly all in the contracts going, well, I'm not dying. Well, I'm not dying.
I'm not dying, yeah.
Well, yeah, but they also have the Expendables, but they also have like Terry Crews in it, and they don't use him at all.
They have Randy Orton in it as well.
No, Randy Couture.
That's it, Randy Couture. That's
Terry Crews.
Oh, wow.
The best thing about that is there's a scene where he's got this massive shotgun, and it's just panned down this like alley or hall or something like that, and all you just see is all these guys just getting blasted back at the end of the hall by the shotgun, and him walking. That's the best thing in the film, like him with the shotgun. But yeah, like that's mine. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll never get bored of his films, like those films.
Shall we catch up on the chat there, Gadget? Then, if there's anything of note.
Well, Tigger said, "Stick to oodles. Stop getting movies wrong."
Stop getting movies wrong.
There's a lot of talk about the concept of pooing babies out, which we're not going to get into.
It's true. It's what happens.
Sneaky said the Porsche getting flipped back over and it's fucking untouched in the next shot. Don't know what.
Yeah, I know there's a lot in that film, Sneaky.
Commando.
If you watch the bit where he blows the building up, it's all cardboard cutouts stood next to the building. It doesn't stop it from being fun.
Sneaky also said True Lies still stands up now. Commando's got the worst editing ever on film. It's like in Spaceballs when they catch the stunt doubles.
Yes, brilliant.
And then Jean-Claude Van Damme was the original Predator actor.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, Biggie, take it home, big boy.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to completely full nerd here. So, I'm covering the X-Men. Just as a whole. Thank you. So, they first appeared in X-Men #1 in September 1963 and were created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. I know most people know who the X-Men are, but just in case those that don't know, they're mutants, subspecies of humans, are born with superhuman abilities activated by the X gene. They're basically formed as a team by Professor X, or otherwise known as Charles Xavier. The original team started with Angel, who then became Archangel, Beast, Cyclops, Iceman, and Jean Grey. It was very, 60s, 70s comics.
Basically Fantastic Four, wasn't it?
It was just kind of, there's a criminal over there, let's go and get them.
Criminal!
It wasn't anything special, it was just superheroes with interesting powers. But it wasn't until later when they had a refresh that you had the most iconic ones like Wolverine, Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, all added. So I was struggling to think what I was going to cover for this subject. And then when I was thinking about it, I was actually reading the X-Men comics on my phone. And it's just one of those things that I always go back to. I just seem to have this connection with them throughout my life. I don't know why. I've just always enjoyed the strangeness about the stories, the characters. Yeah. There's been some landmark storylines by John Byrne and Chris Claremont, such as Inferno, Dark Phoenix Saga, Days of Future Past, which obviously was based as one of the movies as a prequel later. In the 80s, you had the spin-off books like The New Mutants, Alpha Flight,
yes.
Excalibur, and X Factor, not the show. And then they all started to cross over, and then it all became a bit of a mess where everything was linked with everything. If you wanted to follow,
joined the Avengers and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, when you wanted to follow a story, you had to go and get another comic book to follow that story. But it did have some incredible storylines like The Mutant Massacre and The Fall of the Mutants. They're all very successful. Yeah. And it was in the 80s that the very first X-Men video game appeared on the NES.
Yeah.
So then we hit the 90s, and thank you to all of you that brought in the animated series theme tune. It ran for 5 seasons, from 92 to 97.
Incredible stuff.
It was very successful. It spawned all the toys that came with that. Then you moved on to the artists in the comics like John Romita Jr., Mark Silvestri. And then they divided the teams into 2s. You had Blue and Gold. Then the famous Jim Lee ended up joining the team. This book ran from 91 to 2001. I mean, the X-Men just are unstoppable, basically. They've never stopped. When Jim Lee's #1 comic for his launch, it came out, it was pre-ordered for 8.1 million copies. And is still, to this day, the biggest selling comic book of all time in the Guinness Book of Records.
I've got one of them up here.
Yeah, just incredible stuff. In 94... 20th Century Fox obtained the rights, but it would be 6 years until they actually made the very first movie.
That fucking first film, man. Ugh.
Which led to what we have today, the Avengers, the Marvel Universe. It was the first time that kind of superheroes ever since Superman have actually sort of looked good on film. And I know if you look at the movies now, they have dated. But I mean, the talent that they had for that movie with Sir Ian McKellen, Sir Patrick Stewart.
Oh, God, yeah.
The good-looking Hugh Jackman, who I thought was always a bit too tall for Wolverine.
Yeah.
Halle Berry.
Way too tall.
But yeah, just to name a few. And at this point, the video game side of it was kicking off as well. You had a lot of side-scrolling adventures in the arcade and on the SNES. But for me, one of my favourite adaptations was the X-Men Children of the Atom beat-em-up, which was in the style of Street Fighter, released by Capcom. Yeah. Which ended up having X-Men versus Street Fighter, which made no sense, but it was awesome. And then it finally culminated in the Marvel superheroes games. Then you go into the noughties, and Grant Morrison, British writer, took over in 2001, and he completely made his mark with the E for Extinction and Planet X storyline, where basically he culminated with the death of 16 million mutants in the fictional country of Genosha. Morrison also dumped the traditional spandex outfits and tried to make the X-Men look cool with black leather and yellow insignias, which was also the look that coincided with the movies.
Anything Morrison touched was gold, mate.
That's the one I'm currently reading, even though I've read it before. It's so good.
He's good with DC as well. Oh.
Yeah, very, very, very good writer. And they also drop a nice gag in the movies about referencing the old costumes as well.
Yeah.
Then we go into sort of the 2004, 2007 X-Men Reloaded period. We've got crossover events such as the Avengers Dissembled and the House of M, which is one of my favourite stories of all time.
New Mutants as well.
Yep. By 2004, the console games had taken another direction. You had the X-Men Legends and then Legends 2, Rise of Apocalypse.
Yep.
Then we have Joss Whedon, I know, took over the writing. But it was a great series. At this point, things get a bit silly, with characters also getting their solo books. Cable, Deadpool, Gambit, they all had their own series. Then they merged together, went separate. It all became a bit of a mess. And then 2006, X-Men The Last Stand was released, but this doesn't exist. Finally, you have the Messiah Complex for this period, which heads up the Secret Invasion plots by 2009.
So good.
Keep your eyes peeled for that in the in the future for Marvel Universe. Hugh Jackman went on to star in his own Wolverine series, ending with the sublime Logan in 2017.
Logan's good, the other two aren't.
Yes, but starting with the atrocious Origins.
I'm surprised I managed to get three.
Origins, they didn't even finish editing it, they just released it. There you go.
And the only decent one was the Wolverine, wasn't it?
The Wolverine.
Which was based on the Japanese comic book.
I was going to say, was that the samurai one?
The story, yes.
Ronin. Watching that.
But yeah, it wasn't great, but it was the better of the lot, I have to say. And then in the 2010s, in the aftermath of the Schism series, Cyclops and Wolverine fall out, and it leads to an Avengers versus X-Men storyline. And this is as far as I've got, so I've still got a long way to go. I'm still catching up. But the prequels of the X-Men movies at this point had varying degrees of critical and commercial successes, but they go as Deadpool 1 and 2 as well. So with all of the above, I just feel that I've always had this connection with the X-Men, whether it's reading, playing the games, seeing the movies. It's a series that was in trouble and was almost cancelled, and then it's ended up being so iconic and successful that the movies alone have brought in over 6 billion worldwide. And I've always found myself,
because only 2 of them are good.
I know. And I've always found myself going back to the comics and either rereading the classics or discovering the new adventures as I am now.
Have you seen the just released this past month the Weapon X Omnibus metal sleeved book? Oh, it's incredible. It's about 70 quid.
Oh, definitely have a look at that.
Absolutely.
But it's just incredible that a simple comic book series that started in the 60s, 70s to present day was also never afraid to cover anything. In its storylines, it's gone through racism, anti-Semitism, diversity, LGBT themes, communism, socialism, religion, subculture, and of course, genocide. So, I mean, it's quite incredible when you think about it.
And dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, yes. The savage land. Yeah. But yeah, I'm obviously clearly a geek for X-Men. I love it. It's not always been brilliant, but when you pull out the great storylines they're all linked into what happens in the movies now. It's still ongoing. It has some excellent artists.
With the books, there's more good X-Men books than Spider-Man books, yet Spider-Man's still number 1. Do you know what I mean? It's
Spider-Man will always be number 1.
Yeah, I think it's just super popular. But yeah, there's some of the cultural just touch points of it, stuff like the AIDS panic with the mutant panic and stuff like that. It was just such a parallel, incredible, right?
Everything links in, and they're so iconic as well. A lot of people know who Wolverine is, even though they might not be a fan of the X-Men comics, or it's just, it's always been there, and I just love it. And if you haven't checked out, like Oodle says, any of the comics, there's lots of places you can start. They're so good, the storylines, and it frustrates me when you have the movies end up the way that they did. When the lore is there, they could have done so much.
Get them in
more.
the MCU.
Yeah.
Oh, they are, right?
Get them in.
They're there.
They're there. But
and the villains as well.
They're holding off because they know that that's the big one. Once they get through this stage, this phase, and they say X-Men are coming now.
Yeah,
that's just like.
And I tell you what,
if they have a dip in like sales, I mean, which they won't. But if they have a dip in like the figures and box office, how do we get it back up? X-Men are coming now.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And I don't even know if they have to go down this is my own personal view, whether they have to go down the cinema route. I think there's so much lore in the X-Men series that I think it would be better as a TV series over a period of time, like X amount of seasons, because I just think they can build up, because it's very hard to get storylines in like a 2-hour movie. There's a lot of
social commentary that would probably waste in a film.
I think
I get that.
I think now that they're doing Marvel TV shows, what I could see them doing is small series, 6 episodes, 8 episode series, focusing on certain characters and certain storylines.
Yeah.
But you're still going to come together for a big film, or you're still going to have the main core of the X-Men. So your Wolverine, your Cyclopses, your Storm, and everyone like in a film.
Squirrel Girl.
But you'll have all those like lesser known X-Men might get there, and their stories might get like TV shows instead.
Yeah, and I think that the evidence of the Infinity movies has shown you that you can cram a lot of superheroes in.
Yeah,
to a
it can
movie.
be done.
It can be done. It took a lot of time to get there, but when they did, it works, and
there is a strong like 10 core X-Men that you can just have a film with them in.
Yeah,
we've all seen Iceman, but people forget at one point before Cyclops, he was a leader. Do you know what I mean? You should have Iceman in it. You should have all your Cyclops, your Wolverines, your Jean Greys. Do you know what I mean? Don't do the Phoenix Saga again, for fuck's sake. I'm sick of seeing it now.
Yeah,
and certainly don't cast Sophie Turner in it again.
No,
she was terrible in Dark Phoenix.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, you need charisma for Jean Grey, and
what I want to know,
have it at all.
What I want to know, Big, and I think the listeners want to know, who's your favourite X-Man?
Wolverine,
really?
Every time.
Which iteration? Orange Wolverine, yellow and blue?
Brown and yellow. Brown and yellow.
Ooh, brown and yellow.
Who's your favourite bad guy?
Ooh.
I'd liked Sinister, actually.
Mr. Sinister, yeah.
Because he had this really dark way of putting his fingers...
He looked like a vampire, but he wasn't.
Yeah, he had his fingers in the pies in the background, just really... It's a long, drawn-out affair to get to revealing him, and he still reappears.
I think that there was plans to use him in these reboots recently with Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix.
Yes.
There's like a hint to him in one of the films, but then obviously
his name pops up or something on one of them.
Disney bought it out, and it's just like, right, that Phoenix is the end. We've got it now.
One of my favourite X-Men is probably Nightcrawler or Colossus.
Yeah.
I like the Colossus arc where he has to get out of Soviet Russia and stuff like that. That was really good. Cold War stuff. And I think Magneto is so fucking good because he's not always a villain. And that's what I love about him.
I really like how they did Colossus in the 2 Deadpool films.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Very funny as well.
So good.
My favourite bad guy has always been Apocalypse.
Apocalypse is the first mutant.
When that teaser came out in Days of Future Past,
don't remind me.
And I was when the teaser came out, I was just like, "Fuck yes, we are finally getting Apocalypse!" And he's
going to be brilliant.
And then the film came out.
It's so
Oscar Isaac, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Oh,
and I know that we've got. Infinity War's done an incredible job, and that's kind of where the X-Men should have been.
They should have been in there, yeah.
But not even in there. But just the fact that those movies, when you now compare them side by side, the X-Men
it's ridiculous,
are just so poor. in comparison, but they could have been as good as Infinity War has turned out.
I think
to be.
Days of Future Past is a decent attempt at a massive arc in one film.
Yeah.
It's a decent attempt, but still, it's carried by Hugh Jackman and Fassbender. But Fassbender's been the best thing in the new X-Men things.
Yeah.
Because it seems to him and McKellen, they both get that the two sides to Magneto.
Totally
Magneto's not always a baddie, and it's just
I think.
Other than that, it's shy.
I think I'd like to see going ahead with those films when they do them is keep them away from all the current MCU characters for now.
Yeah,
and I would like them to have their own Infinity War / Endgame style. X-Men only.
And there's plot there in those books I mentioned. It's all there.
It's all there, mate. Yeah,
and with I'm not going to go into spoilers because I know people who listen to this aren't there yet, but with what they're doing now, you could have a world without these characters and just X-Men, and it would work. So.
Great pick there. Has anyone in the chat got anything to say on the X-Men?
There's been a few.
I'm going to get another beer. Sorry.
Debbie Punk said Cyclops is a ball bag.
Cyclops is the worst, and actually, statistically, the worst leader of the X-Men.
Yeah. Tig said if Cyclops is your favourite, you're a narc.
Yep.
And then Punk added to that he's an incel in goggles. Sneaky just said Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler's incredible.
And his claws...
he was really good in the movies, by the way, I have to say.
Yeah,
they absolutely nailed him doing the BAMF manoeuvres. That was incredible.
Yeah, Wolverine's claws in one of the films looked fucking terrible.
Yeah, they were cartoon claws, weren't they? So bad.
And Gucci Gang Potato has said, with a highlighted message, I would like to announce I have wasted 100 channel points. We really should do something with channel points.
I don't even know what that means.
It's just a thing like people accrue points as they watch our streams, and like you can do things like highlight your messages or have a certain emote. I should probably work out what we're doing with them.
We can just get free access to Biggie's OnlyFans, really. It's probably
my only fan.
His OnlyFans is blowing up. If you like feet, you're in.
And there are leaked photos online as well.
Excellent. So that's all of us. Let's get on to, have we got a partially bulging mail sack? And then we'll ask the chat for some questions as well.
Yeah. We have a significantly bulging mail sack, actually.
Oof. Unleash the sack.
So we're starting off with DeGoose. Fuck you, Oodles. He's starting off with DeGoose saying, favourite thing ever has to be Destiny. I'm still playing it and it's 7 years old in September. Fuck off, has it been out that long?
Yeah, we're all old.
I do like that game, but it did go off the rails at one point.
I tried to play it again and I just couldn't fathom it.
Yeah. Oh, X-Ben Blaster X has resubscribed with Prime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Whoa. Joe,
who's that then?
Oh,
Joe,
whoa.
I was just absolutely smashed the chat with lots of presents.
Yes, she has.
Wowzers.
Straight into her own pocket.
Thank you to everyone who's joined.
We should get her on the pod.
We should.
I knew I shouldn't have had the butler have a night off when I needed another beer.
He gets Sundays off.
It's all come full circle. Candy Machine 85 has gifted a tier 1 sub to TCGS Co.
Enjoy your ad-free viewing.
Go back to it. DeGoose says, favourite thing ever has to be Destiny. I'm still playing it at 7 years old in September. I've probably only stopped playing it for about a month. I'm sure Stig will love that one.
He just plays nothing but Destiny, and he's all like,
so good. It's such a good
shooter.
but
he's really into it, and he's like, I haven't got time to play this new game, or I haven't had time to play that one. It's like, because you just play Destiny all the time. I know it's really good, and it's a brilliant shooter, but
it is.
I tried to get back into it. He tried to get me and a few people back into it. We had a few raids and stuff like that, but
it's so difficult to get back into.
I love the shooting in that game. It's such a nice looking game.
I bet DeGoose has read all the Grimoire cards and everything, hasn't he? He just knows it all.
He'll know all of it.
I never understood that thing that they did, though, where the whole lore of the world.
I like the lore in Destiny.
But it was on a different website. It wasn't even in the game.
I felt like Indiana Jones uncovering lore. I love Destiny. I think it's brilliant. You can't play it anymore once you've had a year off.
Yeah,
It's too difficult.
Bobby Wayne has said, my favourite sandwich is bacon with applesauce, if that helps.
Oh.
Not true. Is that a good thing? Or I mean, you have apple sauce with pork. I suppose it works.
I know Bobby. Obviously, I know Bobby personally. He's a good eater, so whatever he says must be gospel.
Better with brown sauce, though.
Oh, he probably has both. He probably has all the sauces.
and a dash of mustard.
Blue cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, you dirty boy.
I'm hungry now.
Kate Wheel says, these are a few of my favourite things. The smell of freshly ground coffee. Oh, yes. The Princess Bride.
Yep.
Yes, great film.
Sunday brunch.
Oh.
What does that mean? Just sorry, I'm not
just
cultured
going out
like
for brunch
everyone
on a
else.
Sunday.
Or is it the TV show?
Between breakfast and lunch?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, is it the TV show? Yeah.
It's usually a boozy breakfast.
Oh, I like them.
And a certain episode of Most Haunted. Google Mary Loves Dick Most Haunted.
Mary loves Dick.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick. Oh, God. I remember that so good.
I have no idea what that's about, but I will
Mary
do.
loves Dick.
It's just Derek Acora shouting Mary Loves Dick over and over again.
Good. Mary loves Dick.
Three in and we're already off the rails. John Shepard says favourite book, His Dark Materials.
Excellent.
Favourite comic, Watchmen.
Yes, mate.
Favourite smell, freshly baked bread.
Yeah.
Favourite TV show, 6 Feet Under.
Right, can I just
really
stop here?
good.
6 Feet Under, one of the most underrated TV shows,
So good.
possibly
Relatable.
of all time, and no one
Brilliant.
talks about it. I just don't get it.
Well, we're talking about it now. Incredible.
Yes, we
Get it
are.
watched.
Top 10.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so good.
It's so good.
And then he finishes off with favourite video game, Half-Life 2.
Yes.
Never heard of it.
What a fella. What a great picks.
I'll
Excellent.
play it one day.
Hey, we like John Shepard, friend of the show, John Shepard.
Mr. Half-Life 2's not that good. I've only played an hour of it.
Stop bullying me live.
When that came out, when you said you only played an hour of it, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? What if I played Dragon Quest XI for an hour and just went, this is shit?
Most people do.
I love this, Nick.
Sneaky at I Am Sneaky says, favourite thing? Gaming in general. I started on an Atari 2600 and I've played millions of games since. They've shaped my life ever since I could waggle my joystick. Oi, oi. Games are fucking awesome. Yes, they
Yes, they
We
are.
have got
Yes,
to be
they
a similar age, me and Sneaky, because that's exactly my start as well.
I bet Sneaky classes himself as a gamer.
Yep.
Sorry, Gucci Gang
Well, it's allowed
Potatoes.
to.
Gucci Gang Potatoes just said, my mum's just walked past as you all said, Mary loves dick. Cheers, I look like
Mary
a perv
loves
now.
Dick.
Just got distracted by that too.
We could have that as a sub now. Do you know when people subscribe? Mary loves Dick.
Is that the title of the pod now?
There's a few.
Jamie White says, favourite plays on musicals, The Sound of Music, Rent, but not so much the movie. Danny Boyle's Frankenstein.
What?
Favourite actors, Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hiddleston, Michael Sheen, Tom Holland, Tilda Swinton.
Strong.
Like the Brits.
Strong.
Yep. Favourite
She's
movies?
American as well, so that's
No.
it's not favoritism.
Favourite movies, That Thing You Do, Lord of the Rings, Princess Bride, Back to the Future series. Favourite books, The Stand and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know, there's been 2 mentions of Princess Bride there.
Yeah.
Never into it when I watched it.
What?
Oh, mate,
Oh,
it's
seen it?
good.
I
never
think
seen-
if you
Oh,
watch it
I've
now,
seen it.
I only watched it first time a couple of years ago. I think if you watched it now, you'd be like, it's all right.
Is this,
I think it's brilliant.
Is this like when I saw The Goonies at the age of 28 and I fucking hated it?
Yeah.
Dude, I won't forgive you for that.
No, yeah, you fucking suck for that. But yeah, I think it's a good 3 out of 5 film for me. Like, I think if you watched it when you were younger, you probably.
I used
prefer
to
it
really
now.
love Willow as a kid, and I don't like Willow that much anymore.
Oh,
So yeah, I get what you mean. Like some things just like Never Ending Story. I used to adore that, and it's fucking shit.
Isn't Warwick Davis in all of these? Is he just the,
I don't know. I don't know.
the bad link?
So apparently, Stig is dead to Hicks and I'm dead to Sneaky.
I mean,
Princess Bride has some good moments in it and some good
I think it's
memeable
brilliant.
moments, but it's not as good as everyone makes out, in my opinion.
like Half-Life 2.
You have to actually
think.
play it first.
I think.
That should be a stream series, Oodles playing through Half-Life 2. If we can make him finish a game.
Oh, yeah.
You can't finish him.
Shall I do it on mouse and keyboard as well?
Well,
So,
yes.
So fucking bad.
Tig has said, fillet steak, rare, with a glass of Malbec or Rioja. There's a restaurant called The Bank in Delft on Saddleworth Moor that does the best fillet steak I've ever had. Their best version was one served on a potato rosti with wilted spinach. Absolutely incredible.
Ooh.
I adore good steak with good friends.
I had an
gaming ones.
Sorry, just because I had an amazing steak when I was in Texas. My dad was was just like, "We're in Texas. We need to go find somewhere to steak," and it was just fucking incredible.
Was it a half a cow?
I was just going to say,
it wasn't at all. It was the portions were the right size, but like, yeah, it was a brilliant restaurant, brilliant steak.
Texas.
Tig also says my gaming one will be Tomb Raider or the Uncharted games. I love those games. They tie into my love of traveling, exotic locations, and creepy ancient history. I can bundle myself up in a hotel room and lose myself in a jungle, traverse faraway rooftops, or climb a frozen Siberian cliff face. Definitely love the puzzles and climbing over the bobbins Uncharted combat, though.
Yeah.
I got all of that, but then I read that as really bad hotel choices.
There's no hotels on the first Tomb Raider, I can tell you that much.
His TripAdvisor must be scandalous.
A third-person action-adventure like that, there's just something nice about it, especially when they're fucking well-made. And I haven't finished the other two in the Tomb Raider trilogy, but that first one, when she's getting impaled and stuff like that. That's
and the music as well. That music was
so fucking
sublime.
good.
I preferred the Uncharted ones over the Tomb Raider ones, because I think the Tomb Raider ones got to a point where it was a little bit torture porn. There was a lot of creative ways to kill off Lara Croft. Mm-hmm. But then there was that whole thing, like they had all that pre-release stuff saying like, oh, it's going to deal with Lara killing for the first time. And yes, that happens in a cutscene. And then she commits a massacre afterwards, and she's fine with it.
You commit a massacre, not her.
No, you have to commit a massacre. You can't play the game without.
Oh, I know. A pacifist run.
And she's generally fine with it. Whereas like with the Uncharted ones, I think they're very
he just kills
silly.
everything.
Yeah, Nathan Drake is a mass murderer, but they're just very silly, very light-hearted games.
I love the Uncharted games. I need to play the... What's the other one?
Lost Legacy?
Lost Legacy.
I need to get that one.
It's really good. Really good.
Robotic Monkey has said, there are a few of my favourite things. When I was playing Tearaway on the Vita, anytime there is a wide shot in the game and you can see the sun, the Vita uses your front-facing camera and puts your face in the sun. It made me smile every time. Genuinely one of my all-time gaming memories. Then he goes say, when I spent most of a season in Rocket League stuck at the top of the gold rank, I lost a bit of hope and got frustrated. But just a week or so ago, I forced a little bit more and I've managed to break through to the next rank up. Well done, Robotic Monkey.
Nice. That's a tough game. I hate that game.
And then he goes on to say, when you're driving out in the real world and all the traffic lights change as you're rolling up to them. I know a lot of them are designed to do this, but it still feels nicely satisfying. And the last one, that sound that ice cubes make when you drop them into a drink on a hot day.
Oh, yeah.
Plink, plop.
Into a drink or into a glass before you put the drink in. So both of them are good, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And,
Sambone Solo said Rocket League is amazing and any other opinion is wrong. I mean, they're correct. They're absolutely correct.
It's just because I'm rubbish at it. It's a great game. I just crap at it.
We should stream that again.
When we play Rocket League, we don't concentrate on the game. We just talk.
We just piss about and somehow score the odd goal.
Yeah. And when we don't talk, we win. It's so weird.
It's what happens with FIFA when I'm playing FIFA.
Yeah.
That's why I'm playing a tournament with Sambo and a few others. I'm playing a tournament, and like when we all watch each other's streams, when everyone's like chatting away and stuff, I'm like, I just take my headphones off because I can't concentrate on what I'm doing, and then I smash them all.
Yeah. Oh,
top of the league.
Competitive guy over there.
So, Angry Kurt, is he best boy this week?
No, because he's not turned up live.
Oh, okay. He doesn't do streams, though, in all fairness. He has said that.
So, he hasn't earned his place as best boy yet.
Fair enough. He says, hi, ME crew. Congratulations on your first year anniversary. Yeah. I want to talk about holidays and specifically my two favourite places I've ever been to in Las Vegas and Disney Orlando, both for similar reasons.
Ooh.
I know they're both all fake, but I just love the atmosphere and how much there is to do. Las Vegas has the gambling, but I didn't partake in both times I've been. I saw loads of shows, went to the Grand Canyon, drove a Ferrari, ate in loads of restaurants and more. My ultimate highlight, though, was an unforgettable helicopter trip over the Grand Canyon whilst Elvis Presley played on the radio.
Nice.
Fucking hell. And And then Orlando was just incredible as a kid. It's just full of everything you could ever want, an absolute ton of fun, and you can tell the adults are loving it too. I haven't been since I was 10, but I've booked to go next year, and I cannot bloomin' wait.
Go to Epcot as an adult. It's the absolute best experience because you've got the little bit of a day to chill, and then you've got all the restaurants from around the world. And now there's a specific thing that fans of Disney do, and it's to have a drink in every restaurant in the world. So you do basically a pub crawl of Epcot. And you either start or you finish in Mexico. So you've either got a tequila to start or a tequila to finish. And it's absolutely sink or swim.
I mean,
best fun as an adult.
Problem is Kurt doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Oh, God. We'll try some food from every different restaurant then.
You can have some Shirley Temples.
I've planned to, because we never got to go when we were a kid. I remember once that actually Disney World tape you could order. You know, like, you can order a tape and you can see what it's about and book a holiday.
Yes, you could get them from the travel agency.
That came through the post one day. Me and my brother were just like, that's tickets to Disney World. And then all of a sudden, my dad was like, obviously my mum had decided she didn't want to go. And Dad was like, I don't know why they've sent that. And I was like, oh no. So I promised like that when my youngest is a few years older from now, when she can kind of get on things and walk around a bit
and remember it better.
I'm saving up. I'm taking them all like to do that. And I went to Vegas last year, obviously at the wrong time. Everything started shutting down as we were there.
You shut Vegas down.
It was a ghost town by the time we left. But I still had a great time. I jumped off the stratosphere. That was amazing.
Wow.
So tallest building in
I've
Vegas.
flown over it on Flight Simulator.
Yeah, that's the one that you flew over, and I was like, I jumped off that. It took me 3 attempts before I actually did it. But like, all my friends were watching. I was like, don't look down. If you're ever going to do it, just jump. Because I held onto the barrier, I lurched forward, and I looked down, and then I went back. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And then when you said you had 3 attempts, did you jump the wrong way first?
No. It took me 3 attempts for my feet to leave the platform and just jump off. And then all my friends are watching, and I'm like, I cannot not jump. Because imagine if I turn around and bottle it. I was like, I'm just going to have to fucking jump, just do it. And it's great. Like, and it's not as bad as you think either. You have that first lurch in your kind of body. And then when your body...
You're braver than me, mate.
Yeah, and then when
I wouldn't do it.
You kind of like hit a point where you don't feel it, but it's amazing because you're just free falling.
It's wasting good beer time, if you ask me.
No, we were still drinking, but like...
Kurt finishes that off with another thing I want to highlight is the airport experience when you're going on holiday. There's the excitement of going on holiday that always arises when you walk through the fragrance bit of the airport, and I love browsing through the WH Smith to buy a couple of mags and a book for the trip.
You can tell Kurt hasn't got children because the airport is the worst part of all of this.
If you go
duty-free in Toblerone,
Stag Do's, the airport is amazing.
Oh yeah,
you get there even if it's 4:00 in the morning, pint and a sausage sandwich.
Yeah,
doesn't matter wherever.
You don't have to be in an airport for that, mate.
Yeah,
I'm usually a couple of Valiums and a couple of drinks in by that point.
Come on, lads, it's time to drop us acid before we get up. Like.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go.
Debbie Punk has sent in another essay.
Oh, here we go.
Last minute, by the way, Punk.
That'll be horrible.
10 minutes before we went on air.
Yes.
Beautifully written. I'm looking forward to this prose.
Dearest motorcycle espadrilles.
That's a nice one.
When will I ever get a chance to talk about pancakes? Right fucking now, that's when.
Love them.
The humble pancake has been a pillar of my enjoyment as far back as I can remember. Pancake Tuesday was always an event. Mama Punk knew how to whip up a batch of those tasty suckers and always had a full range of tooth-rotting delights to throw on top. Later in life, I soon realised that anywhere Lady Punk and I travelled to, we would always end up dining on pancakes, usually on the last day before returning home. I will always remember the pancakes in Copenhagen until the day I die, the day after seeing my favourite band play live and taking in the sights with my favourite human. It is incredibly versatile and you can tailor it to your taste. Salty bastard? Replace the sugar for salt. Vegan bastard? Yep. Yes, technically there are pancakes for you too. Racist? No, you do not deserve pancakes. You get a smack in the face of the frying pan.
Yeah. Classic Punk.
Yeah, bravo, Punk. Just this morning we had pancakes to perk us up after a day of second jab blues. Well done, your second jab as well. Greek yogurt and blueberries. It worked a treat. Pairs well with bacon, as does everything. Honey, maple syrup, multitude of fruits or sweets. They're the cornerstone of any content human. Hopefully, when the world returns to some normality, we'll finally get overseas to try some Japanese pancakes in Serbia. Happy pod birthday. You're continuously taking strides upwards, and it's been a pleasure to listen as you've grown and evolved into the pod we know today. Keep up the great work, and I look forward to whatever's coming next. Love you guys. Parentheses, even oodles.
She made his night there.
It's because I'm slagging his, I'm whoring his podcast on my shirt, isn't it? That's why. I just want to talk about pancakes for a split second. Man, pancakes are incredible. Like the first time I went to America, we went to a place that sounds quite racist called Cracker Barrel.
That's good there.
They did these stacks of pancakes with butter and syrup, and it's the first thing I ate when I got back. Still jet lagged, ate it. I had diarrhea for 2 days after that.
I thought it was going to be a good memory.
It was amazing as well.
It was a good memory because it was so fucking nice.
So, do you prefer American fluffy ones or the thin crepe, English ones?
I don't eat unlike Pancake Day. You got to have the crepes, haven't you? You've got to.
I do both.
Get that lemon on it, and but I think I prefer the American style. Fluffy goodness.
See, I like the crepe style ones, but I like them with bacon and maple syrup on.
Ooh, yeah.
See, I prefer the fluffy ones for that.
Oh, pancakes so good. We should just do a pancake podcast.
Yeah, for that.
I don't think there's no one on the planet that doesn't like.
Honestly,
pancakes.
when I was in Texas in the airport in the hotel, and we went down to breakfast. The breakfasts there were insane. Like,
they're immense.
And she's there going, "Do you want some pancakes?" Like, yeah, pancakes. Like, what topping do you want on? It's just like, what? She's like, what? Like over here, it's just like you might have a bit of fruit or something. She's like, it's bacon, like maple syrup. Do you want some cream,
egg,
ice cream if you want? Or you can have fried chicken on it if you want. I'm just like, wow.
Fried chicken
it's not
on
like
pancakes
they give you
is the worst.
two. It's like this mountain that going over as
so
well.
Big.
It's insane.
Just watch your ass after you've eaten them. Fuck.
Ben Blaster X has said in the chat, had amazing pancakes in Amsterdam in a small place right next to Anne Frank's house. Best part of that day.
Oh, wow.
As you do.
Was that in Everton?
No, not Everton. No, Amsterdam.
No, it's have a look at Anne Frank Everton, then on Twitter, then you'll know.
Okay.
Just
Sneaky said, "For fuck's sake, I'm starving now."
Yeah. There's not many takeaways that deliver pancakes, is there? That's the problem.
There is actually near me. There's a dessert place that'll bring you crepes.
Ooh.
Last up for tonight, we have Nimrod Hicks.
Okay.
And he says, "Dear mediocre emissions."
That's about right, actually.
Yeah.
Apologies for not pitching in any feedback and opinion lately. It's been quite a tough few weeks. One of my favourite sayings is, when man makes plans, God laughs. And I'm sure after the year we all had last year, with the terrifying start to the pandemic and the struggles of lockdown, we can all reflect on our place in the fate of the world. Change is just a dice roll away. So imagine how dumb I feel when I look back and 2021 has been even shitter than last year. For fuck's sake. Since February, the wonderful Mrs. Hicks has had a cancer diagnosis, 2 failed attempts to cut it out, and eventually a full mastectomy. It was brutal, and my black dog barking didn't help matters either. So all in all, a sad tale of woe. However, having the love and support of friends around me helps enormously. Therefore, with your open subject, I nominate my favourite thing to be modern escapism. Okay, calm down. You're clearly not the greatest thing in the world. That goes to Bob Dylan's music.
Well,
Bob Dylan is fucking good.
You're probably not even the world's best podcast. However,
it's debatable.
The lovely inclusive community you and we have created over the last year has been a great boon and is always a kind, safe and fun place to be, which has helped me navigate these choppy waters. Happy birthday, and thanks to you guys and the whole Modern Escapism family. I love you, pricks.
Cheers, mate. We love you too. I told you it were a good idea to set a Discord up, didn't I?
Yeah, it was a great idea.
I love that place. I just love the fact that people pop in and out. They're either in there every day.
There's people that don't even listen to the show, and I don't even care. It's just come in. Follow the rules and enjoy yourself. There's not many rules.
And like Nimrod says, he told us about that in our mental health chat.
Yeah,
and
I know.
It was a tough day for him, and the love that everybody gave to him and everybody else that's all had. We've all mentioned stuff in there.
Horrible thing.
It's just a nice, supportive place. You could be open and honest as you want to be, and it doesn't matter what you say. Everybody's there, supportive, just to give you a little pickup. It's amazing.
When obviously people don't know when we first started this in his little green room that we had before it became the Discord that you know it is now. It was just a room for us to chat in. Way before you were born, Candy.
It was a glorified group chat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a group chat, and I think everyone that we started it with, because we started it with other people, remember, we all had that same thought, like, let's, apart from like procrastination and escapism, let's make it a positive mental health place, you know what I mean? And it's got better. Like, you see it on Twitter, people saying stuff like, oh, Discord, oh God, it's because you're in the wrong ones. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
There's this. It's so nice to know that, like, I've had arguments with family members, and then I can just look to these people, and a lot of them jab at me because I'm a fucking idiot, and I know I am. But
it's affectionate jabbing, though.
Yeah, they're jabbing at me with like pokers, but they've got like pink fluffy bits at the end. Like, we love you, but we will keep prodding you.
It's always bantering. It never gets out of hand. We make sure it doesn't. We try to keep it a nice, safe place, and that's the way we want it to be.
It's so fucking special. It's I'm honoured to. We're all honoured to serve you. We really are.
Yeah.
And it's good. And if I were drunk, I would be crying, but like I say, hangover. So now it's time for everyone's favourite bit. It's the socials and a sneak peek of what we'll be doing next week, but it won't be live, sorry.
Yeah, so again, just thanks to everyone. You can find us on Twitter at modernescapism. On there, you'll find a link to all of our episodes and our socials. You can join us on our Discord that we've just spoken about. Again, it's a wonderful community, most of whom I think have actually joined us this evening as well. So thank you so much for that. It's really appreciated. If you do have any comments, you can either tweet us or email us at modernescapismpod@gmail.com. If you enjoy playthroughs, find us on here on twitch.tv/modernescapism.
So make sure you're following if you're not already.
Yes, you'll get a little ping every time we go online.
Anyone with those Prime subs, if you're not using them, just throw it our way.
Yeah.
And tell your friends as well.
Dragon
Saturday
soup isn't
Oodles,
cheap.
What have you got for us this week?
Dr. T Gonzo is now following. See?
Thank you.
Thank you.
He knows what to do.
We need doctors as well. Thank you. What did you say, Candy? What am I doing this week?
What are you doing this Saturday? You crashing some planes? You're doing Fradle?
I don't know. I think I've been inspired by Stig's moaning. I think I might play Half-Life 2.
Fucking hell.
What are you playing it on?
Xbox.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we bullied you into starting Bioshock, and you ended up loving that.
If you want, yeah, that is true. That is true. I'd never liked Bioshock. I was crying. Do you know what I mean? It's so good. It was same with Titanfall 2. Oh, Titanfall 2 is so good, but I had no idea it was so good. So, yeah, I might even plug in the old keyboard and mouse and play it on the Xbox and just...
It's fine on controller. I played it on both.
Is it? Is it all right? Oh, there we go then. But yeah, I think I might do that, and then I will... I kind of want to get back to Fable, but there's so much potential, isn't there? So I'll do something. God knows what.
Mondays we have Biggie Dies. Biggie's continuing his playthrough of Dark Souls for the first ever time.
I didn't play it last week because we had to record our special on Monday, so I should be back to normal tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm not.
Whereabouts? You're at ONS, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still.
Wednesday, Gadget and Stig. Are you still playing Sea of Thieves?
Yes.
Yes, well,
nice. That was fun last time.
It. When this comes out, the audio version, we'll have played that. So, last time was a nightmare because we went the wrong way and then the game glitched. So we lost like an hour and a half. And it was just like, and then it took us like 10 minutes to get back to where we were.
Does it not constantly save then?
The thing is with when you do the Tall Tales is like they're designed to be played over like an hour and a half. They're not very long, but they don't save your progress.
Oh.
So like it glitched for us about halfway through it, so we had to come out of it and come back in and start the whole thing over again.
And then we got griefed.
We got griefed in the first instance, and after we came back in, it put us on the other side of the fucking sea from where we had to be.
Yeah,
like it's just it didn't even spawn us anywhere near. So it took us about 15 minutes of just open sailing to get there.
It's still such a fucking pretty game, though.
I still enjoy playing it. Yeah.
Yeah, see your friends, punk.
See your friends. Oh, that was funny. Thursday, I'm continuing my Candy's Creature feature, so I'm going to be starting a new game. I'm going to do just 1 week of Five Nights at Freddy's. So that's on Thursday or tonight if you're listening to the podcast.
I can't believe you're doing Five Nights at Freddy's. Like a proper Twitch streamer. Like,
I know.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys.
I'm going to get so many fans. And then I think on the stream we're going to decide what I should play next. So if you've got any suggestions, I would love to be scared. I haven't been yet.
It has to be horror-based.
Soma.
Kind of horror game.
Play Soma.
Soma's good. Have you played Outlast or Outlast 2?
Haven't done that one.
Oh, yeah, Outlast.
There's a lot of willies in that. Do you like willies?
I'm a fan of the willy, yeah, so that might be the one.
There's a lot of them in it. So,
right, sold. So I won't be announcing next time. But yeah, feel free to join me and make some suggestions. All of our playthroughs are uploaded to YouTube for you to watch in your own time. At the moment, you'll need to search for Modern Escapism in channels, but we're extremely close to getting our own personal links. So if you wouldn't mind giving us a subscribe, that would help us immensely.
Yeah.
Patreon we've spoken about, patreon.com/modernescapism. So that you've got £5 for Modern Escapees, £5 for Scorched Sheep, and £7.50 for the Biggie Bundle.
Biggie Bundle, baby.
Do the Biggie Bundle. Now,
look at his face.
how can you say no to that? Next week's subject, we have got a banger, absolute banger, and I can't believe we haven't done it yet. It's Best Baddies.
Yes.
How have we not done this yet? I was so confused. I was like, we've done it. Then we look through a filing cabinet. We haven't done it. We're like, fuck!
Best Baddies.
Best Baddies. Yeah. So, oof.
See,
what baddies do you love to hate? Do you love them or loathe them? Who's the baddest baddie of them all? Let us know in a message or a comment.
I mean, it's clearly Punk. Clearly deadbeat Punk.
He's an anti-hero.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half rant about him.
He's a good boy.
And as always, if you have a minute and you've enjoyed our podcast, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or anywhere you can find to leave reviews. It really helps us get seen. We read all of our 5-star reviews, and if you have any suggestions for us, positive, negative, we'll read them all as long as it's a 5-star one. So we'll take everything on board.
Absolutely. I've just seen it.
So have I.
Thatcher. Tough wank, but I got through it.
Now.
Excellent. Thank you very much there, Kenny. Thank you for my lovely co-hosts. This has been fun. I don't think we're going to get kicked off the internet, luckily.
No, we've done well so far.
Yeah, I was biting my nails thinking, we're not getting kicked off the internet because we're not getting edited. So if you are listening to this on audio, you're probably getting a really unedited version, and it's as close as you can get, even where we're describing things that you can't see. So it's going to be fun. But yeah, thank you everyone that tuned in. Oh, there's been loads of you. We've too many. I can't even read all your names out, but it's been a strange year. It's been a cracking year, and I'm proud of me, mainly. I'm proud of you all. I'm mainly proud of the community that's somehow gathered, and we all just helping each other out. Toughest time for a lot of people ever, and it's just we ain't going anywhere. We'll see you next year for the 2-year wrap up and stuff. It's just I'm just absolutely honoured to keep a podcast alive for the first time in my life.
And as a bonus for all our listeners, as a thank you from me personally, I've got a 12-month subscription to Xbox Ultimate, and I'm holding it up to the screen for you just to enter the code. First one, first come, served.
Yeah, get ready.
Ooh,
here you go.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's glitched. He's glitched out.
No, he'll do it. Don't you worry.
Well done. There you go. It's for the listeners.
Yes.
Wow. So
Also,
I have to explain that one.
No, you don't have to explain it. You don't have to explain
it. If you've watched tonight, remember, and you are one of our Patreons, we will still be doing the Patreon thing. So download it on Thursday, and you can skip ahead all the stuff you've watched and get to the Patreon section.
Yeah, on the Patreon download, I'll make sure to point the time code in when we go to the Patreon bit, so you can just skip ahead.
Yeah, we are closing the live show very soon, and we're going to meet the patrons back round the back for cheeky hand jobs and kisses, basically.
And pegging.
Pegging. So all I can say is thank you for a strange and incredible year, and here's to many, many more. So thank you for the live chat. Thank you for all the live viewers. Thank you for all the listeners. And thank you for people in the future that have come back and listened to this and thought, wow, what a weird bunch of fucking nerds. So, yeah, good night, and may all the gods be blessed.
And those of you that left, fuck you.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, bye. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining.